Earth.
Air.
Water.
Fire.
For the longest time, the four nations have lived together in harmony. Under the wise leadership of Avatar Roku, the world has experienced an era of peace and prosperity. But with the recent death of Avatar Roku and the arrival of a strange comet in the sky, members of all nations feel the winds and tides of change. With the search for the new Avatar only just beginning, the world seems poised on the brink of conflict. But without the Avatar, who will save the world?
My name is Bree, also known as PrettiPixel, and I am playing Shurva, a warrior from the Fire Nation.
I play Mako, a firebender from the Fire Nation.
Hello, I'm Ali, and I'm playing Oki, a waterbender from the Northern Water Tribe.
I'm Brandon, and I'm Rung-Bolo, an earthbender from the Earth Nation.
Hey, I'm Dave, and my character is Al, the airbender from the Air Nomads.
And I'm Owen, the dungeon master of this ragtag group of members of all four nations. Hello, everybody. Welcome. Hi, we'll give you a wave. Your camera's loading in one by one. Yay! Hello. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the Lost Archives. My name's Owen, and I'm joined by these lovely people who join me each and every Thursday night for our Avatar Legends stream. So the real legends, of course, are you, sitting at home listening to what we're doing, or on the bus, or on the toilet. Thank you for listening to us. We really appreciate it. Look, I guarantee, chances are there is one person taking a dump right now who's like, can he see me? Yes, I can.
Don't watch the entire stream on the toilet. Your legs will go dead.
Yeah, it's not a good idea. It's a long stream.
Hemorrhoids.
There you go. Thank you very much for joining us for this episode 16 of our Avatar Legends stream. Dave's here. I'll just refresh your camera feed, Dave, so that people can see you eating dinner. Yay! So, there he is. Give him a wave. I'll accept it. It's a good wave. Thank you everybody who came and joined us for our Tyranny of Dragons stream last night for our Dungeons and Dragons episode, episode 70. So big milestone there for the D&D stream. Goodness me, getting close to those triple digits. And crazily enough, we are actually on track, I think, for episode 100 to probably be one of the last episodes of the campaign. Like, judging by how quickly you guys have been going through it, I reckon it looks like it might end on episode 100. If it ends on episode 99, I know, if it ends on episode 99, we'll do like, we'll have to do like a consequences episode where we just discuss like the fallout of what's happened at the end and where your character's going from there. Or maybe even do a little time skip to see your characters a bit in the future after the events of the campaign. That could be fun. I'll have to think about it. We'll see how we're traveling. But yeah, thank you everybody who came and tuned in for that one. Thank you to Evildoer for doing a little raid with your D&D crew. Thanks for that. It was lovely to have you in the chat. No RPG stories this week. However, we do have someone else who's been looking at doing a Avatar Legends stream after watching ours. So thank you so much for sending through. I've got your comments here. You said that you were going to look at doing the Roku era, so just before ours is set. So looking into more of the Roku era, Roku as a middle-aged to older avatar. I think that'd be a really cool, interesting time period to set a campaign in. So when you've started that campaign, please send through some more information. I'd love to read out a story or a tale or a little fun anecdote from your campaign when you do that. That's it from me. Any other fun news from anybody else? No.
COVID. Don't get COVID.
Don't get COVID. Yeah, we did discuss this last night. The official position of the Lost Archives is don't get COVID. We've all agreed. Yeah, don't do it. And if you do get it, just rest easy, take a break. You've earned it.
Drink water.
Alrighty. I better do drink water.
You've earned it by becoming part of the problem.
Yeah, it's funny.
Yeah.
Got COVID? Earn it.
Yeah. Well, you've earned it anyway, because we're generous. I better do a quick recap and we will get into the campaign. So, oh, sorry, I should also say one more thing. Andrew's not joining us tonight. For podcast listeners, I realize you can't see. Andrew's not joining us tonight, so Mako will be played by me. I'll be handling Mako, Andrew's character for tonight. But the benefit of not having Andrew here for this session is that, for once, I think we're actually going to be on track with the story. So how good's that? It's going to be great. We'll actually get to like not have these.
He's left me to deal with the aftermath from last session. Explaining
It's not too
all
bad.
that.
It's not too bad. There's not too much to deal with afterwards. You guys had a pretty chill session last session, so I think it's more just about, I think, the long-term consequences of your decision with Andrew to basically feed the Fire Nation propaganda machine. That's going to be interesting. But don't worry, we won't see those consequences today. That's going to be a future episode. So, our story has been following Shurva and Mako of the Fire Nation, Rung of the Earth Kingdom, Oki of the Water Tribe, and Aal of the Air Nomads. The children of important ambassadors of each of the 4 nations, they have been attending a historic summit at the Beifong estate. With the recent death of Avatar Roku and the arrival of a strange comet in the sky, omens of war and conflict seem numerous. The team are currently in a small fishing village on the border of Serpent's Pass near Ba Sing Se. Having met up with Mako's father in the Fire Nation encampment along the walls of Ba Sing Se, the party now seek members of the Water Tribe who travelled with Oki for the Peace Summit. However, the group was sidetracked by some trouble at the ferry way station and have now fled the scene to avoid further run-ins with the Earth Nation soldiers and Dai Li agents. Last session, the group investigated the Ember Island Players, a group of performers and actors normally stationed on the Fire Nation holiday destination of Ember Island, but who seem to have set up a bit of a travelling performance outside Ba Sing Se. The group learned that the Thespians were researching recent events as part of a new story they were planning on performing, however had gotten stuck after a large water serpent attacked their boat. While Mako and Shurva provided some questionable accounts of their stories and tales, Aal, Oki, and Rung explored the surrounding village in search of information regarding the Water Tribe travellers and the danger of the water serpent. Didn't realise I'd written such a tongue twister as a recap. So we ended last session with Shurva and Mako exiting the Ember Island players' tent, having watched a little bit of the performance. Rung, you had been, because Brandon, you'd been away, Rung had been doing a bit of an investigation of the village, just sort of walking around, talking to the people, trying to sort of get in amongst the common folk. I figured that'd be what Rung would do. Not so interested in the performers, more interested in the people of the village and talking to get to know them. Oki, I had you travel down towards the edge of the village where a number of fishermen had pulled their boats up onto the tide line and out of the water, nets dry and hanging loosely, for what looks to be a fishing village very reliant on income coming from the sea and coming from the bay. No boats have been out in the water, and for you this is a bit of a red flag, so I had Oki head down towards the water's edge to sort of talk to the fishermen, get an understanding of what's going on. And I should say as well for Brandon and Ali, your characters did see the serpent in the water rising up and then dropping back below again, this sort of vast... Oh no, it was only Aal who saw it. Apologies, only Aal saw this. Aal did a little bit of a reconnaissance last.
as well.
Did Oki? Yeah, you were. Sorry, Oki, you did see this. That's right.
Guy.
You were on the jetty, so you did see this as well. A family were crossing the Serpent's Pass. A bandit or some sort of nefarious ne'er-do-well had stolen their backpack and ran ahead of them on the pathway. His foot knocked a bunch of stones off the path and into the water, and the serpent rose from the depths and ate him whole. Plucked him off the side of the Serpent's Pass, this narrow passageway of mountains dividing the bay in half. The serpent just plucked him off the edge of this mountain pass and disappeared below the waters. Massive, long, sinuous body, easily 100 meters long, glistening silver scales, vastly expanded gill system and frills around its neck that opened up into this sort of large silver display of color. And it just plucked them off the side of the mountain, plucked this bandit off the side of the mountain and disappeared back below the waters. So we're going to do a little bit of a jump back in time just to explain for Oki and Rung what they've been observing. So Oki, a performer approaches the group, showing interest and wanting to have a bit of a chit-chat. Aal and Mako and Shurva show interest in chatting to this performer and getting to understand what they are. Mako talks about something called the Ember Island Players. But at this point, your curiosity about what's going on with the boats down in the water takes your attention, and you sort of depart the group, meet them back at the tent. This large red Fire Nation tent with a Fire Nation flag flying above it has been set up on the outskirts of the town. Agreeing to meet with them later, you and Rung make for the village. As you guys head into the village square, Rung sort of spots an older gentleman absolutely destroying this large bowl of rice and some sort of meat, probably fish meat. You hear Rung's stomach growl ominously, and he sort of looks around and goes, I think I'll grab a bite to eat. Okay, I'll catch up with you later. And Rung takes off and goes over and talks to this old man. We'll follow Oki first. So Oki, as you head down towards the water's edge, immediately suspicious to your eyes, the boats have all been pulled up out of the water. Normally it's pretty rare to completely remove the boats from the water. Obviously you want to protect the wood from getting waterlogged, so at night they're often lifted up on wooden stands. For the water tribe, this is not a problem. You just freeze these stands up and lift the boats out of the water so they don't get waterlogged, or freeze ice around them to protect them. But here in the tropics, along the equator, I suspect they probably have to use these wooden platforms to keep the boats from getting too waterlogged or soaked. But these boats haven't been lifted up, they're just dragged up onto the muddy shore left. You can see where the wood has started to rot in places. Moss has begun to grow on parts of it, so it looks like they've been here for at least a week by your eyes. And you can see a number of fishermen, mixture of ages and genders, milling about by the water's edge, trying to sort of catch things from the shoreline. But judging by the empty buckets and empty nets, not having much luck. What would you like to do?
She probably just sort of wanders up to someone that's close by and seeming to be, just sort of staring out to the water. Seems like they might be a fisherman or something, but they're not busy at the moment.
Yeah, so there's no end of options here. There's a couple of older gentlemen, a few men in their middle ages, a couple of women sort of middle-aged, late 30s to early 40s, and then you can see a couple of younger people around your age who are milling about on the edge of the pier, not really as intently focused on catching things as the adults are. They seem to be a bit more like they're giving it a go, but there's clearly like an absence of effort going on here, as if they see this whole thing as being pointless. You can see the look of nonchalance and boredom quite clearly in their body language, as they just sort of one of them's not even holding the rod. He's like affixed it to one of the poles on the jetty just with a bit of twine. And he's not even looking at it. He's actually sitting with his back against the rod and the pole, with the rod going up behind his back and into the water. So he's not even looking at it. And they seem to be sort of chatting to themselves and not laughing, but they're having a lively conversation. You can see them over there. Up to you who you want to...
Yeah, up on the pier and says hi to the young folks. So, I can't help but notice there's literally no one in the water.
Yeah, because no one wants to die.
What on... I know the water is a dangerous place, but, that's a bit of a bold statement. Is there something out there?
You've not heard of the serpent?
No, I've been, far off. Not around here.
Oh, well,
The serpent?
Yeah. It's a large snake-like creature that inhabits the waters here. It normally isn't too dangerous, so if you know what you're doing and handle your boat carefully and make sure to chuck an offering or two in from your catch, it would leave you alone. But something's changed. It's attacking people. All the fish have been driven out of the bay. It attacks people and boats. Anyone who goes out on the water. We've been forced to pull the boats up and just catch from the shoreline. The person who's speaking is a younger woman. I'd say, Oki looks very similar in age to you. Dressed in the very traditional Earth Kingdom clothes, slightly dirty, darker green tunic with some ties at the front, and then just some pants and no shoes. The two others with her, two teenage boys, one a little bit older than her, one a little bit younger, who definitely to your eyes look to be brothers or at least cousins. Very, very similar family resemblance. Shaggy dark hair, bright green eyes, both dressed very similarly. Again, open vest, similar to Rung's open vest and shorts. One of them, the older one, wearing what looks to be some sort of like thongs or flip-flops for our American viewers. That's the one who's sitting down with his back against the rod. He hasn't spoken yet. It's the younger boy who's spoken. Yeah.
Did something happen? Was there a massive explosion or something on the lake that pissed off the serpent, or anything that you're aware of?
It's really interesting that she'd say massive explosion, says the older teenage boy as he sort of looks up, lifting his hat back and looking at you. It wasn't, but interesting suggestion.
Well, what else is gonna piss off a giant serpent?
We thought it was the water tribe. Yeah, hanging around here, offering help with their bending a couple of days ago. Claimed they were looking for someone. some lost member of their group.
You know where they are?
No. We told them to get out of here. As soon as the serpent started going rogue, we said we didn't want to see them anymore. Chase them out of town.
The boats look like they've been up on the hard for at least a week, but if the water tribe's only been here a few days ago, like, the serpent must have been acting out before then.
Yeah, as you say that, the teenage boy, the older teenage boy, sort of gives you a bit of a squinty-eyed look and goes, "They only got here a couple of days ago." Who's to say what they were doing out in the water, across the bay that whole time?
Fair enough.
What, the serpent goes rogue and a bunch of water tribe arrive in our village. And a couple of days after. Not a coincidence.
No, not coincidental at all. I mean, there's shit going on all over the place. The water tribe are out of place. There's Fire Nation camped out by the gates of fucking Ba Sing Se. The ferry terminal's being attacked by who knows what. Like, what the hell is happening lately?
There's a sort of a confused look as you mentioned the ferry terminal. That's news to them. Goes, what happened? What happened at the ferry terminal? What's going on?
Well, you haven't heard about the ferry terminal? Like,
No?
the Earth Nation nobles decided no poor people are to ride the ferry anymore. So they were all lined up for God knows how long, and then it rioted. Like, who knows if the ferry terminal's still even standing?
You watch as
Who hightailed it out of there?
Oh, okay. You do offer that information. I was wondering if you're going to share that you were actually there. You watch as the older teenage boy spits over the side of the jetty into the water. Fucking nobles. Royal family. Think they can just do whatever they want. We've asked for assistance from the Earth Queen and her guards every single day. Nothing. Yet they've got time to go investigate the ferry. Makes them enough money, I guess.
Well, you can't have the nobles put out now, could you? Ugh, ridiculous, the lot of it. And actually, funny enough, would Oki know, like, the route that the ferry takes, is that over the same lake that this
Straight
serpent
across the
currently
middle
on?
of the bay. Yep.
But I saw the ferries traversing the lake, so there must be a way to be placating this serpent. I mean, because the ferries have been going, haven't they?
What? No, I mean, we've seen one or two ferries moving across. We just figured they were too big a target for the serpent. They are pretty. There's a bit of a size difference between the little fishing boats and the ferry. The ferry can hold sort of 100 to 200 people. The fishing boats maybe 1 to 2. So there's an itty bitty difference in size. But no, it's a good point. No, it's a really good point. Absolutely.
So what you're saying is, if we strap all the fishing boats together so that they're large enough to hold 1 to 200 people, the serpent won't attack the fishing boats.
I don't know. That's what you seem to be saying.
Figure out a way to get out on the water.
We're talking 100 boats.
Yeah, like
It's
a
at this
giant
point-
boat raft.
It's at this point, Oki, that you hear this sudden splash from behind you, and you see the teenage girl gasp and point. As you turn around, you can see a small figure flying through the air, clearly Al. Below him, emerging from the water with a massive splash, the silver-headed serpent rises. This thing is huge, and as it rises up, it just plucks something off the side of the mountain and disappears below back into the water. Al getting dangerously close before realizing and swooping back up again to get out of the way of this thing.
Shit. Okay, I now understand why no one is out on the water.
Shit, I think it got someone. I didn't see what happened, did it? Yeah, there was someone there. It got someone. Shit.
He's like, well, nothing I can do about it now.
It's alright, the young family were okay.
I love the reactions, just like, shit.
Hey,
What am I gonna do? Go out there and solo a serpent? I don't think so.
solo a serpent.
happens.
We've got the name of the episode, everybody.
Nice.
Name of your porno.
Yeah. That's a t-shirt. Yeah. No, it's. They look at there's this moment of like, man, shit, that sucks. I hope it wasn't someone we knew. But not much else. Not much more of a reaction. Like, life be harsh in the Earth Kingdom. They seem to just be taking it in their stride.
They're probably all currently starving or running low on food stocks.
When you're watching like Discovery Channel and you just see like a lion just take out a gazelle or something like that, no, the other gazelle's like, it's already got a feed. It's not attacking us.
Better them than me. Yeah. That's exactly right. There is a bit of that, I guess, as well. There's this sort of like resigned, like, oh, that's really rough, but I'd rather it not be me. The adults seem to not react at all, Oki. That's the weird thing. There's a few gasps when the serpent first appears, and then some sighs and like tuts. But for watching someone just get eaten by a giant serpent from the lake, not much of a reaction. Pretty muted, to be honest. Do you want to make me assess a situation check?
Perhaps.
Just want to see what else you pick up on.
Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
3. That is a failure. Oki, all be well. You be somewhat distracted by the presence of a giant serpent eating a man off the side of a mountain.
I think she's mostly hoping that wasn't from anyone from Team Destruction and Chaos.
Is that what you're calling yourselves now, Team Destruction? Because it's appropriate. I'm not gonna lie.
I can't remember our actual name.
I don't think you've given yourselves a name, to be honest.
I don't think we have.
I'm pretty confident you guys haven't used.
It is. Team DNC.
Team
Chaos.
Backup Avatar.
Yeah. Team Not Avatar.
Team Placeholder.
The bench warmers of Avatar.
Yeah, team subbed in. But yeah, no, it's a very muted reaction, Oki. All right, we'll jump over to Rung in that case because we've kind of caught up to the timeline now. Rung, the place looks to be some sort of restaurant or cafe, very rustic, very rural, but what you're used to. Like, it looks like the sort of fare that you're used to back in your hometown of Coldington. I don't think that's what it's called. Did you give it a name?
I did, but that's better.
I don't think it is. What'd you call it? What did you call your town?
Let me quickly, where to put my notes? I put them right here. Bam. I'll be able to tell you right now. Town was Laiwowo because I was going with like the whole thing. But
Laiwowo. Yeah. It translates to Coldington in the
Coldington. Yeah, that's it. Laiwowo,
Yeah.
or like Coldington for short.
Yeah. That's the traditional ancestral name, but like the kids call it nowadays Coldington because there's a ton of coal.
TikToks come into the town. Everything's different now.
Yeah. But yeah, a pretty standard hearty Earth Nation fare, but very seafood focused. However, the seafood, it's seen better days. As you walk inside, you can see there's a display case with what looks to be rice laid out. Instead of ice, beds of rice laid out and fish in the process of expiring, shall we say, laid out across those beds of rice. Behind the counter, a rather older, pot-bellied man with a nasty-looking ragged goatee and a very suspicious, not like yours, no, not like yours, very ragged, like patchy in places and stringy. And as you walk in, he eyes you incredibly suspiciously. Yeah, what you want?
Good evening. Just rolled in here and I was feeling hungry and I was just caught off guard by the seafood affair. My name's Rung. I'm rather famished and I've got a few friends that are too, but it seems our food could be in for a fresh catch. Do you mind telling me what's sort of going on here? Is this a serpent thing I've been hearing about?
Yes. Are you gonna buy something or what?
Will it kill me? Not to be rude, but I will eat anything. I just don't
If
want
you're
to die.
weak, if you're weak, yeah. But if you're
Rung
strong,
just sort of like,
nah.
Rung sort of just like If I was weak, you say? The name Rung-Bolo never really quite rhymes with the word weak. What do you got?
It's special. And he points over to a rather grey fish. There are a few flies on it, and as he like points over towards it, he like brushes them aside, grabs it, slams it down on the chopping board in front of him, pulls out a massive cleaver and smacks the head off, smacks the tail off, chucks the cleaver back around on the chopping board behind him, pulls out a small filleting knife and begins filleting away all the scales off. As the scales begin flying through the air, a light smell of rot assails your nose. You guys can shake your head all you like. You're not there. He's on his own.
Well, the thing is here, I'm not a weak man, but I'm not a foolish man of sorts. Clearly that fish there used to be, I guess, would be pink, would one say, once upon a time ago. Not so much grey like clay, I would say.
This isn't some sort of salmon or... what would it be? Sorry, it'd be Avatar Last Airbender fish. This isn't some sort of like salmon rabbit.
Rabbit. Yeah,
this is the finest bream shark.
A what shark?
Bream shark.
A bream shark?
Yeah.
Bream shark.
Bream's a white flesh fish. It's quite nice. for international listeners, Australians will know what bream is, but for overseas listeners, you might not know. It's a white flesh fish. It's really nice. It's a coral fish from memory. Yeah, I think so.
Hokey, Blake. I'm just saying it smells rather well.
Ripe.
Ripe. Ripe I'd use to describe an apple or a fruit, not a fish. I'd probably have to pass on that one there. I'm hungry, but maybe not.
He looks down halfway through the process of preparing it and looks up at you, and this dangerous glint gets in his eye. Are you not going to pay for your meal, son? You watch as he pulls the filleting knife up.
I hear you right there, and that knife could probably do it for sharpen itself, but I'm just trying to say here, one, you don't want to have a dead customer on your hands, because, well, no really reason why you wouldn't actually. You could just quite easily throw me in the ocean or the river, and I'd be eaten by that big serpent, so it doesn't really matter, really, because quite obviously it'd be easy to get rid of the evidence. But aside from that, you don't want
You're trying to give me ideas, Sonny.
I suppose not, but I did. But the fact of the matter is here, when's the last time you were able to catch a fish?
Been over 9 days. No fresh
days.
Fish. The waters have been getting stagnant. Been struggling to pull a catch in, a full net for months. But we fished out the lake. There's nothing left. It's all gone.
Surely you can't fish out the lake. It's huge. It's massive. How big's the demand begotten in that time?
Others say it's the serpent. But we know better. There's too many fish. Bar Singh says a big place. A lot of mouths to feed. More every year. The demand kept going up. So we kept taking more and more.
Can I?
That's right, it's a fucking environmentalism episode, everybody. Deal with it.
Yes!
It's Avatar Legends. You're going to have to get used to it.
Let's go Fight Club on this episode.
Okay.
Can I... what is it? Is it the one... Is it assess situation if I want to see like an insight sort of check?
Yep.
Would that be assess situation?
Assess the situation for... Yeah, exactly right.
I want to assess situation just to see how much he is like sort of like believing what he's saying, telling the truth. Just make sure.
Yes, absolutely. Roll and assess. Mixed, yeah, absolutely. So you want to know how much he believes it. Rung. Precisely 47.61%. No, he looks like he is. he does believe it somewhat. There's more to this story he's not sharing. Whether it's because you are an outsider, a stranger, you don't know. But there's definitely more going on here than what he's just saying. It sounds like he's just saying this as a bit of a like, I don't want to answer follow-up questions. If I just say there's no fish left because we fished them all, like, what follow-up questions do you have? Like, why did you fish them all? Because they were hungry. What are you going to do now? Starve to death. Okay, great.
Easy conversation.
Yeah, like he's kind of put you in a position where there's not any real follow-up questions you can ask. So,
What's
and
the,
you think that's
what's-
deliberate?
What's the currency breakdown? Because I have 1.5.
So
gold left
there's
from my
10
last notes.
copper to a silver, 10 silver to a gold. So it's all in decimals. Who's
Okay.
drawing on my splash
Oh, name
screen?
is Korra.
Could only be Ali. No, go for it, please. Are you drawing a salmon rabbit?
I'm trying to figure out what it looks like, but for some reason my tablet pen's not working with Roll20 now, so I'm trying to do it with the mouse.
Oh, wow. That's impressive with just a mouse. I imagined that it's got the ears and tail of a rabbit, the body of the salmon, and then it's also got like fur all over it too.
It was really blending in with where I was looking. I'm like, where's she drawing? Oh. Love that. How much? I'll ask him, like, I'll ask the man, like, obviously it seems like there's more going here. Serpents surely eating the fish. Maybe overpopulation and large dense cities are fishing out all the crap. We've already seen nobles telling people they can't ride the ferry because of reasons and being overall douches.
He
How much
spits
would
on
that
the
fish
floor,
cost that
which
you've been
part of it lands on the
scaling?
fish as you say nobles.
I may not eat it, but for your time, how much would that fish cost me?
2 silver pieces.
Two silver pieces. What would you charge me if it was fresh?
If it was fresh, we'd have lots of them. They wouldn't be in high demand, so I'd be able to charge you 2 copper pieces. But this is all the food we've got. When these fish are gone,
Demand?
and he points next to you, and you can see there's like 5 fish left. When these are gone, that's it. Town starves.
Don't mean to be. You know what? Not gonna go there. Information.
You want
why
to
not?
eat? It's going to cost. Should have caught
Think-
fish if you were going to be hungry.
This one here is gonna be more of a token for gratitude of information, and I slide him across the 2 silver pieces.
Oh, okay, yeah. He as you emerge
Yeah.
from your pouch, actual coins, he sort of looks a bit surprised. Oh, I didn't think you had it on you. Thanks.
Well,
Takes the money.
our First Nation people are pretty hardy people, and I know one way for us to actually talk about shit. It's talk about stuff. It's either going to be coin or fighting, so I chose coin. So,
Good decision. Got a lot of sharp implements behind the desk here, behind the bench.
if I see like a knife or anything, if I just sort of prick it with my finger, yes.
It cuts your finger. If you touch any of the knives, they cut your finger. They are wicked sharp.
Impressive.
You suspect? I will say now. You
dab my
suspect this
pants with
guy
that.
has not had a lot to do but sharpen his implements for quite some time.
That's a terrible sign. That man's on the middle of breaking.
Middle.
With that, it's like, well, if he feels fish, I'm like, wrap it to go. I'll figure something to do with it. But what's the go here? So there's a giant serpent, bunch of people fishing out the lake, but I feel like there's somewhere in between. There's a real story here. I might be able to help. I don't know. I go to places. I ruin things or fix things. One of them's going to happen. Let's find out. But
It's
I
not
think
like
it's a
you
good
can
bet
get
for us
much
to take.
worse. Some of the more superstitious lot blame the water tribe. I think because there were a bunch of waterbenders in town a few days after the serpent started attacking boats. They think, oh, it must have been the water tribe, but I know better than that. Those buggers were just in the wrong place at the wrong time. For landfall, trying to avoid the serpent, thought they'd stop for some supplies. Fish had been disappearing from the lake for months. It's not new. That's why the serpent's attacking. It's hungry. There's nothing to eat. No, the real trouble started a few months back.
did the fish come from? Is there a particular area where they come from? Is it close to Ba Sing Se? Like, is there
Yeah, the
like
ocean.
a weir or a dam?
No, the ocean, mate. Fish come from the ocean. Serpents
Brain's
pass.
pretty
I don't know what to tell you.
No, I'm just checking.
I've got in the notes this guy is abrasive and short, so he's
Nah, I'm cool with that.
yeah. So his entire character notes is like abrasive and short. So that's all I'm doing. That's this guy in a nutshell.
He's as
There's a
sharp
gap.
as his knives.
Yeah, there's a gap. This is a natural formation. It's this sort of large lake, but it's connected to the ocean. It's still tidal. Tides come in and out. Still affect the ocean here. Water here. It's salt water if you taste it. It's not as salty as the ocean. The water drains out through a narrow gap at the Serpent's Pass, but I don't know. Maybe the water's not flowing properly anymore.
How far is it from here?
Serpent's Pass. Look out the window. It's the giant mountain range just over towards your right.
But like the narrow gap, like that's just right there.
Halfway,
Right?
it's right in
just
the middle.
quick.
There's a narrow bridge joining the two halves.
You went and checked it out because obviously to me it seems like, well, if the fish come from the ocean and there's a one-way entry into, well, all this, something's got to be a bit iffy over there, if you know what I mean.
Maybe. Anytime anyone tries to get close, the serpent attacks them.
Wouldn't get on land, would it? Doesn't attack like the shoreline,
Yeah.
like maybe. Oh, it
Yep.
does. Okay, that sucks.
Yeah.
Alright, that sucks. Well, okay, but anyway, I'll want to go check that out and make sure that no one's trying to steal all the fish in this area here, and then maybe I can get a fish for a reasonable price and it isn't sniffy. Maybe I'll go get some cats and feed the snake with the cats. Anyway.
Cats are
Anything
important
else
in a
I
village
should-
like this. They eat the rats. Don't fucking touch the cats.
Alright, I won't touch the cats. I won't be the Pied Piper of cats in this town. Unless they follow me, then it's on their own. That's my fish. But anyway, alright.
Like I was
Anything
worried
else I should know
Andrew
about?
derails the...
Uh-oh. Anything else I should know about what's going on there? Or that feels pretty clear to me so far.
It's what I know.
That helps heaps. Well, I'll take that fish to go and won't promise I'll eat it, but I promise I'll try and do something to get you fresh fish again. And then I want fish for real prices.
Good. He wraps the fish up in butcher's paper. It starts leaking through immediately.
Oh, God.
Grey liquid dripping through the paper. Then he hands it over to you.
Take it.
You can add rotten
just not
fish
like-
in soggy paper bag to your inventory.
I give him like a little thanks.
Yep,
As I raise it
you
up
can
and
add
walk
add
out.
rotting fish to your inventory. Well done.
Sick.
I hope you're happy. This is what you
No.
want. This is what you get. Well, this is what you asked for. So I don't know what you'd come to me for.
That's cool. Good information.
And at what cost?
Two silver
As long as you're
pieces.
happy. What was that? Sorry.
2 silver pieces.
2 silver pieces too. Certainly not an overpriced purchase there. I think he's done well. I was worried he'd overpaid, but I think he's done well here. It's at this point, Rung, as you exit the building, you can see Oki coming back up the pathway towards you, and emerging from the tent just ahead of you, you can see Mako and Shurva emerging from inside. And as that happens, you fly back down and land right next to them, having just seen that thing with the serpent. And we are back to the present. Yep. All of you reconvene. Go.
Al is visibly shaken. So the serpent came out from the water and just ate that rubber guy whole. My pants are wet because it splashed me.
Not for any other reason.
Nope.
It was really terrifying. We should maybe do something about the serpent because it's pretty bad here.
Oki, water bend that water out of his pants right now.
Al turns around.
She dries them off. She pulls the water out, yeets it off somewhere. It's like, yes, ocean water.
Yeah, it's definitely not.
Must be a lot of sunlight. It's got a yellow tinge. I learned things. I think. Would you like do you hold this fish for me, please, Oki?
No, it's rotting, dripping, and it smells fucking awful.
Well, it's the
It does, yeah.
price of
Those things are
information.
all true statements.
Don't suppose you could water bend the smell away. Anyway, let's sit it down on a rock beside me in the sun. Let it sit there. From what I learnt from the fish shop, man, it seems like the fish are running dry in this town. He thinks it could be the snake, or could be the Ba Sing Se is robbing essentially this lake dry of all its fish from essentially the pass from the ocean into the lake itself. Could be worth checking out if we figure out why there's no fish here. Maybe the serpent will go away.
Marco's like,
do
maybe
you
I'll
know
get
what
another
to do?
wish.
No.
Bad, Mako. Bad.
Bonk.
But I really want another wish.
Did you find
Wish
out
was-
how long it's been like this for?
He did say around last catch he'd gotten was about 6 to 9 days ago, I believe, and it's been happening for a couple of months.
Okay, so it's not related to Mako's wish.
I won't rule it out.
I was hoping it
Oh.
didn't piss off the serpent.
Andrew does that all the time. I'm just like gonna be Andrew for this.
He does. Well, because we also need to find the water tribe as well, because we are on a clock with Mako's repercussions.
It's been
Hey,
a
hey,
day,
hey! I didn't do anything
hasn't
wrong. Yeah, it's only been a day.
Debatable.
Out of like 2 weeks, I think is what we have, right?
You've got
is it 2
4
weeks?
weeks. So the next 4
Ah, okay, yeah. Let's go take a nap.
If the water tribe boats are in this lake, they're not going anywhere until we figure out what the hell's going on with the serpent.
Oh yeah.
If you like
By the
carrying
way,
the boats over to the ocean.
you may not be loved here, like water tribe people in general. I don't know if you know already, but be careful. I think all Earth Nation people that are in this town literally despise you.
Yeah, I did find that out, and it makes me very glad that I'm currently dressed like a sandbender.
Oh, good. Yeah, just we maybe shouldn't pull out any more water. Yeah, I just realized now, as I said, you should do that. My bad.
You hear a man behind you go, "What? She's a waterbender? Gah!" No, you don't hear.
You're a waterbender. Get out of here.
I'll show you a waterbender.
I'll bend your waters. Wait, what? No.
Needs to pee on them.
Get him.
Really? No, none of that happens.
So dominance.
So, I guess we've got two options. We either find the water tribe, or we find what's stopping the fish from getting into the lake and it's pissing off the serpent. Something in the middle?
Yeah, I mean, like, do we know which way the waterbenders went?
They said that they were driven out of town, so I'm assuming we haven't seen them coming from this direction, so I'm assuming they're probably in this direction.
Towards the Serpent's Pass.
Sounds like fun.
Sounds like death.
Yep.
Well, the Serpent's Pass is where the gap in the ocean, where the ocean meets this lake is, right? So I got my geography right in my head.
The Serpent's Pass is the entire way across, but yeah, in the very middle of the Serpent's Pass is the gap that connects this lake to the ocean.
Well, if they're going that way, and that's where I heard the problem could be. Sounds like a great place to start to find out where all the fish are going. And the waterbenders too.
But just so everyone knows, the serpent is very scary.
Yeah, apparently he hits people on the bank of the river as well, or the lake, so that's concerning.
Yep.
So we can't go over the lake. We can't go through the lake.
Can we go?
I can go over the lake, can't he? Like, he can't jump up that far, can it?
He
How
got
high
pretty
is the
far.
rope?
I was flying and it got pretty far. It was far enough to splash me.
Oh, that's rude.
Insight check.
I always believe him. He's detective.
Rung, I'm not sure how easy this would be, but could you maybe make a tunnel that goes through the Serpent's Pass? A secret tunnel through the pass, maybe?
I've read a story
secret
like that
tunnel.
one.
I mean, if
Well,
the Serpent's
like-
attacking everyone and we can't be on top of the thing, I mean, it would be really slow going digging, but
I mean, do we
we
have
just-
2 weeks to dig under a lake? Because I don't think we have 2 weeks to dig under a lake. I mean, like, my entire town bases its entire economy around punching out the earth to dig for coal, and that's a multi-man job. And woman job, but it's a multi-person job. It's not
there's
quite
a town of earthbenders that literally have no work right now because
You
they
don't
can't
know.
go
You
fishing.
don't know their Earthbenders. You know their Earth Kingdom. You don't know whether they can bend.
an Earth Kingdom town that very likely has earthbenders within it.
That's better.
Unless they've been
But-
conscripted to the army.
if I look around the town, how strong is everyone looking here?
They haven't
We
eaten
have a
for a number of days,
ridiculous
so
amount of gold
There we
to
go.
pay them, but
Not everyone's Rung-Bolo. Well, as he flexes to show a bit of macho-ness and
Still
prove his
holding the
point.
rotten fish. You bump yourself and a bit of the juice spills onto your shoulder.
And how many points of fatigue and conditions? He's almost dead.
takes condition foolish.
I still need a nap.
Or Al, if maybe can you fly really, really high, above the serpent's range, and go out to the middle and
Easily.
figure out
Yep,
if there's
he can easily do that.
something what's blocking the fish? Maybe maybe there's a dam or a big net.
Well, Al was just there. Did he see anything?
Oh, you saw there was a bridge over the central section where it was set up, but your attention was taken by the serpent eating a man off the side of a cliff because you didn't really know what you were looking for. I mean, you did see the break where the bridge is, but not much else.
Oh man, within 11. Okay, well, and it was about a 3-4 minute flight, wasn't it? To the point. Well, yeah, okay. I'll go take a look again now that I know what I'm looking for. So what you're saying, Rung, is that there might be something blocking the fish from coming in?
Purely an assumption, but from what I'm hearing is if the Basing say potentially is taking a bunch of the fish. We've already seen there's been shenanigans going on over there with some of the nobles and Earth Kingdom fairy dudes. This town has no fish. Serpents come here. We're assuming, from what I was talking to one local, that it's probably hungry because there's no fish and it's coming here for the last scraps. So if there's only one way to get in here and it's through there, that's where the other dudes are going. My best assumption, something's iffy.
I'll be back in a bit then, and I guess Al opens up his glider and flies off.
Yeah.
As he flies off, he's also watching out for if he can spot the waterbenders, the water tribe.
Yes,
well.
you can. As you fly up a little bit higher than you were previously, and you come to the edge of the Serpent's Pass, right on the other side of this section of mountain range that divides the bay in half, right on the other side are a number of water tribe canoes, with a couple of tents set up along the beach, and what look to be a couple of figures moving about, probably, by your estimations, in the process of packing up camp.
Al goes to the part. No. Okay, and is it on the way to the part? Or the gap?
Yeah, exactly right. The gap is in the middle of the Serpent's Pass. The Serpent's Pass is this large section of mountain that divides the lake from the ocean. But yeah, no. As you fly along the water, rather than just going straight out over the middle of the water where the air current's going to be a bit harder to predict, I assume Al hugs the coast and then follows the Serpent's Pass out. And that's how you see the water tribe. As you continue along, it's only an extra minute or so before you reach the middle section.
Okay.
Could I have an
assist?
assist?
The water tribe.
Yeah. Oh, you go over to the water tribe.
Might as well. If they're packing up, I think Al would.
Looks like they're in the process of packing camp.
He's easily distracted. Yeah, he would do that.
Okay. Al, as you fly down, the water tribes spot you pretty quickly, and there's a few points and people pointing up and being like, as you fly down and land, you can see that there are 5 individuals, 3 female, 2 male. All look to be, I would say, mid to late 20s to 30s. So a couple of younger, late 20s, early 30s members. So younger members, and they look to be dressed in the very traditional Northern Water Tribe furs and blue cloth. And as you land, one of them steps forward. He has a large bandage across part of his chest. Quite a buff-looking man with a very short goatee and moustache. He bows very deeply before you. Ah, Airbender. It's good to see you. Where do you hail from?
I'm from the. Oh gosh, I think Northern Temple.
You were from the Northern. Yeah.
Yeah. Hello, Waterbender. I am from the Northern Air Temples. How are you?
We have been better. What can we help you with?
I'm here in the town with some other benders, and we're trying to. And just for the record, this is the most formal Al has ever been. His friends don't see this, but this is his formal training kicking in. We're trying to investigate the presence of the serpent in the bay, and we're wondering if you knew anything about it or could help.
Ah, yes. I am Kudok. It is nice to meet you.
Hello, Kurok.
Kudok.
Hello, Kudok.
Kudok. Kudok.
Okay. Kudok.
Yes, we too were interested in seeing what we could do about the serpent, but we were unable to calm it. It is not a spirit, it is a real creature. Tried to see if we could investigate. We were unable to safely approach any of the locations where the serpent has been seen. We're forced to use waterbending to move our rafts around the area. We are preparing to leave and pack up camp now that we are healed. We were looking for one of our own, but we have been unable to find her, so we must return empty-handed to the Northern Water Tribe.
What is her name?
Oki. She would be about your age. Dark brown hair, long and braided. She has a small companion animal with her, a otter fox.
I am traveling with a Oki, of the Water Tribe. She's back in the town.
You're joking?
I don't joke like that. My jokes are much more mature.
Oh, this is great news.
He turns to the rest of the tribe.
We did it. This airbender has brought news of Oki. He has seen her. He has been traveling with her. We have found her.
There's a...
Hey, fantastic, great. Yay. Quick, get the rafts ready. I will go to the village and fetch her. We must prepare to depart at once. We need to head for the Northern Water Tribe immediately.
Why immediately? What's happening?
We need to bring Oki back to her family, back to the Water Tribe.
And what if she didn't want to go?
Nonsense. Of course she will want to go.
I was a bit taken aback by that. How did you all get injured? Was it from the serpent?
Yes.
We have a theory that the pass is being blocked and fish can't enter the bay from the ocean. Do you know anything about what could be causing that?
Perhaps a rock slide blocked part of the currents in the ocean through. Potentially. We were not able to get close enough to have a look. The serpent denied us access.
Do you know much about serpents? Like, if there was a way to distract one? At the other end
Food
of the
would
pass?
generally do the trick. Something brightly colored. You on your glider could be a good distraction.
Huh.
But it would be very dangerous. You would have to get quite close to the water to attract its attention and not fly too high that it's out of range. It would be very dangerous. We could not ask this of you.
But if I were to want to do it, would you assist us in assessing what we can do about this?
As long as it does not take too much time, of course.
Where we are is on the way to the pass, right? So, like, if I went back to the team, we'd travel through here.
Well, the water tribe look like they're going to be leaving on canoes out into the ocean anyway. They have to travel down the river. They literally have to push off, sail past this entrance, and then down the river towards the ocean. They would have to go past it.
I'm gonna go scout the pass, and then I'm gonna meet up again with my traveling companions, including Oki, and we'll come back here. So you guys can just wait.
There is no need. I will travel to the village and fetch Oki. If you meet us back here, we can form a plan together.
Well, would you be fetching her on the canoes?
No. I will waterbend to her.
If you do, can you tell the others to come with her?
How many of you are there?
There are... Al's counting in his head. Four others.
5 of you in total.
Three others plus Oki, 4 all up.
Okay. We would probably have enough space on the canoes for all of you. Would you all be wanting to come with us? Is that the plan?
Well, we do to get to the Water Tribe, yes, but we also want to regroup to see what we can do about the serpent.
We will ask more questions about why you wish to visit the Northern Water Tribe when we have dealt with the serpent. I am curious why an airbender from the Northern Air Temple would want to visit the Northern Water Tribe. People have been much more insular recently, not as willing to travel as you once did.
Well, you gotta be free. That's what the airbenders are about. Anyway, I'm gonna go check out the pass, and we'll regroup back here then.
Very well. All right.
Yeah.
Kudok is going to. Kudok is going to head over to meet up with the gang. We'll stick with you then for the moment. As you fly off, you see Kudok begin water bending around his feet to generate a small stream that he then freezes and skates along in front of him. And as he continually water bends and refreezes, you can see he's moving quite quickly, almost ice skating, like cross-country ice skating, using water bending to create a permanent pathway right in front of his feet, wherever he is. But his arm's like doing like a windmill motion, so he looks a little bit silly, I would say.
Can you show us what that looks like?
Nah, it's LG. I think we'll use theater of the mind for that one. But you can if you want to give it a go.
Is he going like this? Is that what he's doing?
Commitment. Yep, 100%.
The Bart and Lisa thing?
For podcast listeners, he is windmilling.
It's like the Bart and Lisa scene where it's like, if I keep doing this, if I keep doing that, yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I would love you to roll me
really
and
cool.
assess a situation, please.
He's
As
like,
you
maybe
fly-
I should try flying like that. Al is like trying to swing his legs around while he's on the glider. That's an 8.
Having trouble. What would you like to know about the area? So as you fly down, have a bit of a closer look. What do you want to see?
I get one question, right? Because it's an 8.
You get a specific question, but I'll give you some contextual information first if you'd like, and then you can ask a specific question. Would you like that?
Yes, please. That would be very pleasant. Thanks, DM.
No problem. As you fly down and approach the bridge, you can see that the bridge is a suspension rope bridge. It is suspended high up, so people have to climb up the side of the mountain to then cross this bridge. It is well above the water. Down below, you can see that there are a series of tumbled rocks and what look to be fragments of something shiny in the water just below the surface, right in the middle of this chasm between the two paths. But you will have
How
to...
big
The chasm or
is the
the
shiny
rocks?
thing? The shiny thing.
Hard to judge because it's under the water. Do you want that to be your question?
So, which side of the tumbled rocks this is on from the pass?
So this is in the middle. So imagine a
non-serpent
mountain pass, 2 mountains with a rope bridge between the tops of them. In the middle is the pathway that the water travels through to get in and out of the bay. At the bottom of this ravine, at the bottom of this gap in the 2 mountains, there are a series of rocks that look to have tumbled in. Part of the pathway looks to have collapsed off the eastern side, and you can see something shiny underneath the water. You're not sure what.
Al looks around to see if he can see the serpent. That's not his question, but it's just like...
As you have a bit of a look around, no telltale signs of the serpent. But then again, you couldn't see it before when it attacked. The water is very dark and it is a bit... it's hard to see anything below the surface.
Going to glide down closer to the shiny thing without disturbing the water, making every attempt just to just like Batman glide down. Yep.
Could I get you to do a skills and training roll for me, please?
Of course you can. I may not agree. Where is it? It's in the basic, right? Rely on skills and training. I can never see the rely. There it is. That is a miss.
As you try to do this, the wind around this area, because this is essentially a wind tunnel created by the 2 mountains, the wind that's pushing through this area is extreme and is very hard to keep control. You almost crash into the mountain a couple of times before finally a pocket of low pressure causes your glider to drop about 20 meters down before you're able to catch it. But the sound of the glider catching the air, this sort of ruffled cloth, probably a bit of a muffled shout from you going, "Ah!" as you suddenly drop 20 meters, does make a bit of noise that echoes through the chasm. But there is no response.
While I'm here, how close to the shiny
You're
thing am I?
now about 40 to 50 meters away, and you are a bit
Okay,
closer.
so not close enough to see it well.
You can see a bit better now. They look to be round objects, maybe about the size of a watermelon, just below the surface that are glinting in the sun, so reflecting off the sun.
Does it kind of look like a magnet?
Hard to
Like
say.
the magnets from the rock that were in the tent that
Hard to say.
exploded. Okay, I think Al has got an adrenaline rush and is scared, so after that, he's gonna turn around and fly back to the others, I guess. Or
Okay. Fly back to the water trap.
like the middle. Yeah.
Okay. Back at the main group, you, Shurva, Rung, and Mako. I would say that probably you would be beginning to make your way down towards the waterline again, given that that's the only way out of the village. I think that's a pretty fair guess to make. As the four of you begin heading down towards the water, you see a sudden sort of flash of reflected light off towards the side of you, and emerging from the tree line, waterbending along the beach, this sort of muddy mangrove beach, is a familiar sight. Oki, you see Kudok, a young waterbending master, one of the youngest waterbending masters in the Northern Water Tribe, who mastered the various techniques of waterbending at the age of 19, and is a full-fledged member of the Royal Waterbending Corps. He's never really had too much to do with you. You've never really had too much to do with him. He might have overseen maybe one or two of the healing sessions just to sort of see what the women waterbenders were doing. But I would say that probably when you have secretly watched the waterbenders, the male waterbenders, to learn their techniques, he would have been one that caught your eye. He's highly skilled, and his movements are very fluid and very dance-like in a way. So probably you have watched him bend a few times sneakily just to get an understanding of how he's doing some of the waterbending. Particularly skilled at very finely controlled ice-water combinations. And as he emerges, he sort of like stumbles to a stop as the ice beneath him gives way, and he walks forward and goes,
"Okay, it is you. What are you wearing?"
He picks at the sandbender robes, completely ignoring Shurva, Mako, and Rung.
Good to see you too. These are my friends. They're the ones that have essentially stopped me from dying when I was kidnapped, and then we were in the middle of the desert. Hence the desert clothes.
In the desert?
You did take care of us mostly. Like, she actually, to be honest, sort of took care of herself for the most part. But she's pretty strong. Like, doesn't just die easily. Sorry.
No, I imagine she was able to heal your wounds when you were in danger. That is good.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, rude of me. Kudok, of the Northern Water Tribe.
He does a very light head bow.
Thank you for keeping one of our children safe. Okay, it is time to go. Come, your friends can follow.
You doing something about this serpent?
Yes, your airbender friend has told us what we need to know. The decision now is to make a plan of attack.
Any objections? And she turns around and looks back at the group.
Mako's nah.
Is there a wish over there?
Yeah, is there a wish? Can I find another wish? I'm a wish goblin.
Poor Owen's had too many wishes.
I had a wish.
I wish to undo Al's mistakes. Nothing happens.
What? Nothing changed?
Al doesn't
because
make
he never
mistakes.
makes a mistake.
Yeah.
That's what it's like to live free as a nomad.
Does this mean my people won't get genocided? Of course not. All right. Spoilers.
I'd like to whisper to Oki
Yes.
if we're sort of walking by, like, they know about the whole healy-dealy kind of deal.
I don't know. I'm honestly surprised that that they're actually still here. I mean, last time I fucked off for a couple of months, and just sort of showed back up again.
Times have
Problem
changed.
giving
No
dues.
longer can you shirk your duty, Oki. It's time for you to learn the ways of the spirits. You have avoided this responsibility for too long. Now that your cousin has refused the position, it falls to you as next in line.
Been keeping
You
secrets.
mentioned
Oki?
that because I was actually thinking that it's about time that I learned to talk to spirits too. Had a few close encounters. Have you ever seen the whale spirit? Massive!
He stops dead and turns around.
The whale spirit of the Si Wong Sea.
Yeah, in the middle of the desert. I knew that.
Our legends tell of this. It is a powerful spirit, said to grant wishes to those foolish enough to make them.
Really?
Funny that. And she glares at Mako.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about.
No, you didn't do
Crazy.
anything. We definitely didn't blow up the Si Wong Rock. And I think as we're like traveling, she is actually studying Naktok.
Kurok.
And
If you start calling him Nuktuk, hero of the South, we're gonna have problems.
I can't remember his
Kurok.
name.
Kurok. I will type it into chat.
She's pretty much
Kurok.
studying his waterbending, icebending technique, because this is probably the closest she's like really been to some of the more advanced techniques. And so she's like, while in Rome, so she's like trying to figure out like hand placement, feet placement, like the flow.
He's actually not waterbending anymore. As he's caught up to you guys, seeing that the rest of you aren't waterbenders, he isn't waterbending back. He's just walking. But I'll keep that in mind. If he ever starts waterbending, I'll let you know. All right, while this is going on, Shurva, what are you thinking? What are you doing? Because there's been a little bit of craziness happen last session with the Ember Island players. Mako was more than willing to just feed the propaganda machine, as were you, I would like to add. Just feed the beast.
I got swept up in it.
I feel like a bit of a I feel like a bit of a mushroom here in what happened last session.
You should. Have you listened to the episode yet?
I need to, but
you do, because there's so you know the Ember Island players from Avatar the Last Airbender, right?
Somewhat.
So they're the ones who put on the play of the events of the show, and they get a lot of the detail because it's all told through the Fire Nation's eyes, so it's all heavily propaganded Fire Nation version of it. Let's just say that they don't have to twist the story. Shurva and Mako have done it for them. It's already Fire Nation propaganda.
Thank you.
I was so uncomfortable that he left.
I was so uncomfortable he left partway through because he was so uncomfortable with the deception.
Because there were so many lies. We did, however, find out that Pung is the reason for the mishap at the ferry. He's in charge of, what was it? The security?
He's in charge of security and the troops. So that also puts him in a position where he can order the Daily about as well.
Yeah, so they were under his orders. It's all Pung.
That's right, motherfuckers.
Say Pung.
Pung's alive.
Pung.
Yeah, Pung.
Pung took charge. So the Earth Queen has put all of her relatives in charge as the counselors.
Yeah. Some heavy nepotism going on.
We're living in the worst timeline.
Yep.
And now Pung is in charge of the Dai Li and the entire Earth Nation army.
He's not in charge of the Dai Li, but he is in charge of security. So that does include being able to order the Dai Li about, but he's not in charge of them. He's not the head of the Dai Li.
All right, we need to roll back this wish. This is terrible.
It's not gone well.
So we sort of told that the play that they're doing is about the Earth Nation Queen, and basically it's just all propaganda to make her look like she's not worthy of being queen, which based on what we've been told, she's not. So they made a play about like the counselors becoming all of her relatives, and we may have told them some details of Pung and the way Pung behaves to add into the play, just a little sprinkle of oh my god. And then they kind of asked about us and who we were and what we
did. They?
Mako may have said that Rung is about as smart as a pile of bricks. So they're gonna play on that.
I think he said a pile of coal, actually, just to really like add insult to injury.
Yeah.
He specifically said Rung is as smart as a pile of coal.
A dead grade coal.
They've decided purely based on the fact that Ali is a waterbender that she'll just be standing aside healing people.
Yeah.
We laughed at that part as well.
I now know why he didn't make it to this session tonight, because he'll be dead.
I would like to point out, if you do happen to listen to it, Andrew wasn't the only one. Mako wasn't the only one agreeing with this stuff. another firebender, another Fire Nation at this table was going, yeah, that sounds great.
I knew it would never be Al. I knew it wouldn't be Al.
Al got up and stormed out.
Literally, he was standing to the side, just like, but that didn't happen.
That's not how it went down.
That's not what happened.
Yeah.
But that's
And then
not
he's
what
got
we'll say it's the
steamrolled.
truth. What?
Why are you guys lying?
But who even
No.
knows the truth? Let's not get carried away with the truth. Come on, who even knows the truth?
I think the best part was when we left the room. I was like, "What's the play here, guys? Like, what's going on?"
Why are we giving all of our secrets away for free?
You guys just turn into like Mark Brandon Chopper Reed. Like, don't let the truth get in the way of a good story, mate.
Well,
Basically,
so,
yeah. It's propaganda. It's war propaganda to bolster the Fire Nation's nationalism and jingoism. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
If you're going for balanced commentary on the geopolitical situation of the Earth Kingdom, don't get it from the Fire Nation. It's not going to be accurate.
Like the Sydney Morning Herald, you're not going there for bias.
Courier Mail, or
If anything,
you are going there for
it's,
bias. That's the problem.
Yeah, that's the
it's
word.
the Onion.
That's not the word.
It's the Onion, yeah.
Hate it.
But not tongue in
Originally,
cheek.
I wanted to like listen in on what they knew and find out if there was any more information for us, and then we kind of got a bit carried away once we started shit talking Pung.
Genuinely, what happened, both out of character and ending character, both Shurva and Mako, Bree and Andrew merged and became their characters for a second, and were genuinely excited about dishing dirt on the other characters and what's happened in the story so far. There was just a point where they were their characters, and it was just like 20 minutes of them solidly tearing apart Pung piece by piece, like element by element, until he was a shell of a man. And then they filled that shell with shit. Yeah, it was brutal. It's yeah, it was pretty brutal. It was good though.
Oh my god, Pung
Deserved
doesn't
it.
even go here.
Well, because they wanted to know how we knew Pung, and we were like, well, we got kidnapped together. And then they're like, oh my god, juicy story, tell us all about it. So
Yeah.
we didn't tell them about like the maps or like what the Fire Nation were doing or anything. And we didn't tell them
That we
about like
fed him
extra
sandworm?
secrets. No, we
Well, the
didn't tell them
best bit,
that.
the best bit is where they agreed that General Zhao should be the hero of this story. That was my favorite bit. When
That was
both of
very
them,
tongue-in-cheek. I hated that. That was very, sure, yeah.
But
Both
he's
of
a
the man
them-
who's
hero.
uniting all the nations under one flag. That man. Is
both
the
of them
hero.
agreed. Both of them agreed that he should be the hero, and Marco's father should be a bit of a bumbling idiot. I enjoyed that part when they both agreed to that. Didn't see that coming.
Yeah.
I got to the point where I
was
started
getting a
like,
bit steamrolled there as well. I was like,
started-
yeah, sure, why not?
yeah. Andrew was just going along with everything. So I started like improvising, because I wanted to see at what point he would break and be like, no, you can't do that. Because I had like a whole thing based on that, like when he would be like, no. But he never said no. And the more things I said, the more things he said yes to. It's just like, all right, this is all in the story now.
This is an insight into your characters.
It's when he started offering information freely and I didn't have to ask questions, that's when I knew. I was like, nah, this was a bad idea. Like, Marco's just going to tell the entire tale from the Fire Nation's perspective and agree to any propaganda that I propose, because that's just where he's at.
Well, anyway, I made a wish to a big whale.
He decided not to mention the wish, rather wisely.
Yes.
One
He kept
thing.
that out.
He
Any-
incriminated himself. He left out.
Anything
one
wrong he's
thing.
done was cut. I'll let you know that right now.
Yeah, there was no mention of the wish. There was no mention of any murder. I don't think we even mentioned the explosion
No.
caused by us.
The Si Wong
None of
rock
that
was completely
mentioned.
skipped over. Something happened
Yeah.
to it, but you guys weren't sure. It was like Marco's version of the story. It was the
But,
Marco cut.
Marco was the hero at the ferry station.
Yep.
He did it all.
The
We were just
liberator.
bystanders.
I'm just picturing
Teaming-
him telling the story of him drawing like stick figures of him with like big muscles taking on the world or something.
I
He's like,
think
and then Marco came in.
I think my favorite part is like he was so they were trying to push for him to be like liberating the ferry from these rebellious Earth Nation plebs, and that he was working with the Dai Li to liberate it from the plebs. He was like, I'm not as keen on that, and then agreed to it. So yeah, it was special.
Because we were trying to paint the Dai Li as bad guys, and then he was like, no. Like, the secret police part are the bad guys. The Dai Li, all in all, not bad guys. It's like,
It's just a really broad brush.
Yeah.
Like a paint roller.
If you look really closely, I mean, really examine it, you'll find the scarred, charred body of the truth.
The nuance.
Yeah.
As it's been tarred over and then rolled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Having been like set on fire by Mako.
But
Hence why I called the
have-
last episode Burn After Reading.
We have lifetime free access to their shows.
Yep.
So there's
Ooh.
that.
I'm pretty sure the two of you do.
There's that.
Yep. The best bit is all it cost you was your soul. So that's
yeah,
great.
it's fine.
Cheap. Your integrity, your soul, and your honor. It's a nice small price to pay for
Remarketing the fun.
unlimited access to terrible propaganda plays. But great effects. Really good staging and really good effects.
It's not often that
it was all
I'm part
fire,
of the
wasn't it?
problem, so
It was
They only
nice
had
to be.
pyrotechnics.
this time.
I'm just normally part of the
Always Fire
solution.
Nation part of the problem, though.
Yeah.
So
Well
yeah,
said,
I'll
Dave.
no longer trust either of us.
Yeah, I'll
him.
doesn't necessarily.
Were we just off fish shopping again or something like that during the whole
Yeah,
thing?
so the stuff that happened at the beginning of this episode is what you guys were doing while we were in there
Oh, okay.
telling this
Yeah.
grand story. Also, Mako was a little bit tipsy.
Yes, he did. He did get drunk as well.
Is it Andrew did or Mako did?
Bit of both.
Mako.
It's hard to know the difference for that
I
session.
know.
Genuinely, they were their characters. It was great. It was a really good roleplay. I was
Buenos
super-
nos.
It
Yes,
wasn't role playing anymore. We were just telling
So-
our true feelings of Aang.
So Shurva's probably feeling a bit mixed at the moment. I'd say from the sounds of it, Shurva, you're a bit like, some minor regrets.
Yeah. I'm thinking about where I should have stopped it all and should have pulled Mako into line a bit more, but at the same time it's like, who really believes what the Ember Island guys say anyway? Hopefully no one.
Brandon,
As
knows,
you
but
say
Rung
that-
doesn't
Hope
know.
that no one
Rung is
believes
still
them, but
lovely.
they do.
As you say that, Shurva, you do remember that they are the most celebrated performers in the Fire Nation.
Yeah, but performers, not historians. Performers.
Who has more pull, a historian or Johnny Depp? Huh?
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
There's now a generation of people who genuinely believe that the Pirates of the Caribbean is it's a historical movie or a historical based on true events style. I know. How sad's that?
I will Deus Volta over that if that's the case. I will lead a holy crusade against people that believe that.
Tell me, do you fear death?
Yeah.
Marrow.
Do you fear death?
Alrighty, so Shurva's looking a little bit confused, having sort of semi-mixed feelings. I'll at this point probably both Oki and Rung, you would pick up that Al's not super keen to walk too close to Shurva and Mako. He seems a bit more aloof, a bit more distant, a bit like giving them occasional glances, like as if he's not quite sure what to make of them. I think would be an accurate depiction. Sense a bit of tension between the three of them. Well, I should say the Fire Nation and the Air Nation. You sense a bit of tension, rather appropriately, between the Fire Nation and the Air Nomads.
But wouldn't
Well,
the
I
Fire
think-
Nation lift up the air nomads? Sorry, bad joke.
They lit up the nomads.
It's like a heat and
Get
air.
lit
It's
Yeah,
bad.
they lit.
with the air nomads.
Anywho,
I could cut this tension with a knife. Did you walk in on them kissing or what?
it would have been better
Nice.
to walk in on them kissing, to be honest. But look,
He's like a brother.
Mako looks over at Al and
meditate.
says, I wouldn't kiss him.
You kissed your brother? So I was half paying attention. Wiping the smell of fish off.
Yep, Cole.
I swear, I go down to the village for 15 minutes? You guys are hooking up? Ah.
No. We told some tales. That's all.
Al is generally pretty chill.
It's
What
not,
tales?
it's not important. Don't worry about it. It's not important. We just had a bit of a chat with some the Ember Island players, and don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It's okay. Don't worry about it.
I'll lean over to Al. Al, Chief Detective. You wouldn't mind.
I'm going to need to meditate on some of this. We have a serpent to deal with, so.
Teach me how to meditate and give me the goss. I'm really good at meditating, I swear. What is it?
Did you find out what was up with the serpent?
Yeah, there's like in the past between the two hills, there's a bridge that's high up off the ground, and underneath it there was some tumbled rocks and something shiny in the water, and it was about this big. I don't know. Al shows how big he thinks it was. I can't remember what you said it was, DM.
The sections of shiny
shiny
material
thing.
under the surface of the water, about the size of a watermelon.
Yeah, okay. So it was about the size of a watermelon. I have no idea what they were. Maybe it caused some of it, but the tumbled rocks isn't a good sign. It's definitely been disturbed.
Rung can pull some of the boulders out, maybe get some of the water flowing. Maybe that's what's stopping all the fish.
Yeah,
I need to do that.
I was thinking maybe I could fly over in the middle and throw some things in the water to try and get the serpent's attention to pull as far away from you guys as I can, and then you guys start.
Don't see a problem with that.
If
I
it's
assume
punching a
we're
few
all
rocks.
talking as we're walking.
Yeah, punching a few rocks out of maybe a dam or something, that's easy. Digging an entire channel like the Panama Canal through the whole thing, probably not. So I'm happy for this one. This one seems much more feasible.
What do you think, Kudok?
Gurok, I was thinking my waterbenders and I could help distract the serpent. Maybe two of my waterbenders could skate along the surface and try and draw its attention with you, while the remaining three of us assist by parting the water, giving you a clear look at what's under the surface of the site.
Kudok's really smart.
Yeah, that's a good plan. I wouldn't have thought of that. That's a really good plan. I'll follow that. You should really learn from this guy, Oki. He seems really smart.
Ooh.
Yeah, I mean,
does not
what
acknowledge
did that
that.
teach me?
Oh, as you say that, it is not a woman's place to fight.
Oh. Well, she's kicked a lot of butt, I will say. Like, is it bad if she kicks butt? Because she kicks butt, like, real easy. Like, she would fit in really well for the Earth Nation. Like, if she wants to be cold.
It is of course okay for her to defend herself should she come under attack, but it is not appropriate
Or like
for women
someone
to learn
else.
fighting.
But, like, if it was defending someone else, but is that okay? Like say,
Won't
kick
she need
someone
to
else's
learn
butt.
how to defend herself by training?
Yeah, I mean, it'd be
Yeah.
cool if you taught me.
Because
Then you can learn all
logically,
the spirit stuff.
if it's only to defend someone else, then she would get hurt. But as long as she can defend herself and someone else, and then I think it's just good she should learn how to fight and just fight whoever she wants. That sounds cool, right?
You can question all you like, but centuries of water tribe tradition dictate these actions, not my personal will.
Wish that I had more Burmite.
Or what?
Burmite. She just leaves it there.
Walks off nice.
Not wanting to look like he doesn't know what a thing is that you know about, he goes, of course.
But mate.
Love this.
Yes.
I don't have any Burmite left, do I? Like, I don't have
you've
like a
used it up.
single.
Sorry.
Yeah, okay, I thought I'd throw it all.
As you arrive at the water tribe encampment, you can see that the boats have all been packed up, the tents have been packed up, the entire encampment has been completely taken apart in preparation for their departure. You recognize a couple of the other members of the water tribe. Not any of them that you would know by name, but you'd know by appearance. None of them were at the delegation. They look to have been sent afterwards. These are all various waterbenders of varying rank within the Water Nation armed forces. They sort of give you like
Any
hey!
friends of
as you
my
arrive.
friends or anything? Like,
No, none that you really would know too well. You might recognize one of the other. So there's two women there. Three women there. Three of the women you might recognize, or one of the women you might recognize. Sorry, you might recognize Ihini. I'll type her name into the chat for you. Ihini. She is one of the rare exceptions of Water Tribe members who does know how to fight. She's actually from the Southern Tribe. Her parents were one from the north, one from the south. She lived with her father in the Southern Water Tribe for a number of years, and then has come to live with her mother in the Northern Water Tribe in in her later years, so she already knows how to fight. She is allowed to accompany missions and heal and defend if required. She has special consideration. You have been applying for said special consideration many, many times and have so far been unsuccessful. She is the only exception to that rule so far, but only because she's from the Southern Tribe. And that comes with its own problem. She's not seen as a member of the Water Tribe, the Northern Water Tribe, even though she's been living there for the last 5 years. She's not given the same accommodations, the same level of respect that other Water Tribe members are. So there has been a price to this as well.
Hey, Heaney! She goes straight up to her.
Okay. She gives you a big hug. We thought you were lost. Where have you been?
Got kidnapped. Went off to the dining hall.
That was careless of you.
Well, not my fault. The leaf came from the ceiling. No one expects earthbenders from the ceiling.
No one expects earthbenders from the ceiling.
Yes, anyway, we all got shoved.
I was told they could not come from the ceiling. It was impossible.
That's what I had assumed, yeah. But no, they came from the ceilings and the walls and the floors, and then we were in this metal cage.
Defies
and then we were
logic.
rescued by a sandbender. And then we got stuck in the middle of the desert. And then I blew up a rock. I know, right? Awful.
You have been busy.
I'd recommend. I know, right? But now we're here. We're gonna try and, I don't know, do something with this serpent?
Yes, I hear we are going to try and distract it so that we can gain access to the pass.
Gotta clear those rocks out first.
Indeed, I was thinking I might go on the distraction team. Wish me luck.
Good luck, you'll need it. Last time I saw the serpent, it jumped like 20 meters out of the water and ate someone. So maybe don't get eaten.
Going to stick quite close to the surface and use Benelli's snake defense again. I'll be weaving backwards and forwards quite rapidly.
Hopefully you don't look too much like a worm or something edible.
I do not care how foolish I look. If I do not get eaten, then it has served its purpose.
Good point. Good point. You have to teach me that technique sometime.
Would not be allowed. I'm sorry, Oki. And she gives you a wink.
Yeah, no, it's such a shame, such a shame. She sort of winks and nudges back.
Now, I'm sure Kurok has not spoken to you very much, but your cousin, she has refused the position of Spirit Maiden. I don't think anyone saw that coming. The Elder Tribe has tried to convince her to accept the position again, but she has refused, which means that the next in line for the position is you. Now, of course, you are within your right to refuse, but that will mean it passes to another family. As the last relative of your family who could be taking up the position, the honor will pass to a new family if you refuse.
I don't think I have a lot of say in the matter as much as I wish I could refuse, and probably if it was, a couple of weeks ago, I absolutely would have, but some stuff's happened in relation to the spirits, and I feel like if I don't learn to communicate with them, everything's going to go to hell in a handbasket. Maybe probably within the next month or so.
The spirits have been rather restless. So we've been told.
We definitely didn't piss them off. Definitely didn't.
That is good.
No.
That is good. You do not want to mess around with the spirits.
Yeah, Mako.
Mako's ever what?
You don't want to mess with the spirits.
I wouldn't mess with spirits. Who's messing with spirits? As he looks around. That's what Andrew would say. I think. I'm better at impersonating Rung than I am Mako.
With who?
I'm better at impersonating Rung than I am Mako.
Yes, Rung.
Yeah, so I think I'll just head over this way and fucking punch someone in the face. Oh, coal. I love coal. Mwah, coal's the best. Did you know about there's a species of beetle that can burrow into coal, right? And it consumes the coal and then it lights up. It's like a glowfly. I think I'm pretty good at emulating one.
Picture any man you've ever had a beer with in a rural country town.
I figured.
Townsville.
Yeah, Ahini sort of looks over at Mako a bit suspiciously as he just says this.
Okay. Right. We better get ready. I hope you are prepared. Will you take the boats around this side and while we distract the serpent?
Kurok heads over and goes,
Yes, I think we will have these 5 on the boats, along with 3 of the water tribe. I will stay with them. Ahini, Ia, if you could take the rest of the... if you could take with the airbender and head over on the other side of the serpent's pass and work to distract the serpent. I think 1 large shard of ice shot into the sky should do as a signal. They nod. Be careful out there, everybody. We don't want to lose anyone. Good luck.
and with that, the 2 water tribe members begin swimming, like not even on rafts, swimming out the water, using water bending to propel themselves a little bit faster. Al, did you want to follow in the air above?
Yeah. Before we leave, Al's like, hey, Oki, who's your friend?
This is Ahini. She is a very cool person. She's going to be on the distraction team with you, so if you guys could look out for each other, it'd be pretty appreciated.
She does a bow.
Enlightened one?
Al bows back and says, wet one.
She gives you a look, a very weird pointed look, and then goes to swim out with the waterbenders.
She's in the water. She's swimming.
That's fine.
Al flies up above.
Yeah. Al, you're having a bit of trouble keeping pace with them. They are very fast in the water. They're doing sort of full-on dolphin kicks as they move along. They're moving quite rapidly through the water.
What? Why did I have it in my mind when you were saying they're going fast? I just immediately heard in my mind like a dolphin, and then you were just like, they're fast. Don't know why. It was just.
I don't know if I can answer that. That sounds like a very Brandon-centered question. I don't know if I can answer that question. You're gonna have to look deep within yourself.
Like, yeah, no, there's no answers.
Don't know, man.
Al tucks in and gets as aerodynamic as he can to keep up.
Sucks his belly in.
He's going serious. Yeah, he's going to hard mode. He's a bullet.
Okay. Absolutely, you start to pick up the pace. Al, you're the first to spot a shadow in the water moving towards Ahini. She hasn't seemed to have spotted it yet. As she's swimming along, you can see this shadow underneath.
Al lets out a big air-bended whistle and to get the attention, and points down to the shadow.
Ahini stops and then immediately starts zigzagging, changing direction, trying to confuse the shape below. You watch as the serpent emerges from the water, biting down and missing her by inches as it tries to grab her from the water. The other waterbender, using this opportunity, swims around and blasts a jet of water into its face, causing it to roar back, flicking its head as water flies everywhere, catching a little bit of you in the spray. As it rears its head back, its eyes lock onto your bright orange and yellow form. And with a roar, it starts diving forwards towards you. Al, could I have you please roll either skills and training or push your luck? Your choice.
Okay, I can do that.
You can pick.
Skills and training or push your luck. Are they both?
They should be different. One's passion, one's focus, I believe.
Which one's focus?
I think skills and training is focus from memory.
Yep, that'd be one.
Cool.
Come on, plus 2.
11 full success. Al is the excuse me. The wind has changed. Rather than being in front of you, it's now behind you, and you use this to full advantage, ducking and weaving, doing these aerial maneuvers that would be impossible unless there was a tailwind, allowing you to stay ahead of its jaws as you begin flying almost in circles around its head, doing zigzag and crosswind patterns. The serpent is furious, its eyes focused fully on you, completely ignoring the 2 waterbenders in the water, who begin freezing sections of ice around it, trying to sort of trap its large body in a section of water near you guys. Ahini raises a hand and fires a shot of ice high up into the air. We're going to jump over to the others for this bit.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yes, no, you go. What were you going to do?
There was 2 things.
Yep.
I was going to give Ahini a wink.
Okay, she can't see it because you are up in the air flying around the head of this thing, and she's focusing on not dying. But yep,
the
absolutely.
The second thing I wanted to do, and I don't know if I should wait till it comes back, but I want to do something with the ice that she shot up in the air.
Okay,
so
what do you want to do?
Do that now or?
No, let's do it now then. Yep.
Okay, it goes up, and it stops for a bit because that's how gravity works.
That's how gravity
And when it
works. It
starts dropping
slows
down-
and then falls. Yep.
Al wants to get up behind it and like airbend it down so it's even faster.
Okay. You can absolutely do that.
At the serpent, not at the waterbenders, obviously.
Yeah, no, I figured that. Absolutely, yeah. Could I get you to roll me an attack with focus? So just a focus roll.
Okay.
You could roll with skills and training if you like. Again, if that's easier.
Oh, good. It's the same number.
Full
Al is
success.
on fire, but metaphorical fire because airbenders don't like fire.
Al, you deal a fatigue to this creature as the ice smashes into its scaly hide. You deal a fatigue. If you wanted to mark a fatigue, you could deal an additional fatigue to this creature.
Yep, done.
Done. Al, yep, mark fatigue, and you mark 2 fatigue to the creature as this rapidly spinning, air-propelled shard of ice smashes down into its side. The serpent screams this defiant roar. Al, its eyes never move from you. Bloodshot, weeping, this creature looks at you hungrily, furious, and in a blind rage. Enjoy.
Yeah, I'll start flying the opposite direction of
To the serpent's pass,
the
yeah.
pass, and
Nice.
low enough to keep the attention, but high enough to be
Just out
80
of reach.
to 90% safe.
Yep. You've rolled an 11, so you are already, you're able to maintain that, no problem at all. All right, we'll jump back to the rest of the group. Yeah, you see this ice shard fly up into the sky. I'll then airbend it down into the creature. Kurok goes, "That is our signal. Come, quick." And he begins waterbending the 2 canoes that you guys are spread across on. Mako, Shurva, and Rung on one canoe, Oki and the waterbenders on the other. Kurok bends the canoes rapidly towards the other side of the Serpent's Pass, bringing you up alongside this section of water. Now that you're a bit closer, you can actually see inside, underneath the water, what look to be large silver, almost like large silver circles or large silver like oblong shapes just under the water. And the rocks have been sort of scraped down from the sides and piled up around it, forming almost what looks like a nest.
Silver oblong shapes. Rocks on it.
Are they eggs?
Okay, as you say that, and look, the waterbenders begin moving the water aside, and as the water is pushed out of the way, you see 3 silver-scaled eggs in a makeshift nest blocking the water, blocking the passageway.
Oh, no wonder it's cranky. It's nesting. Can we
That's
gently move the eggs out of the way? Like,
The question
Do
is,
we
where do
take
we
them
move
with
them
us?
to? Take them with us? I do not think that would be wise.
the other side of the pass, then? Just
Serpent
you know,
looks
just
too
locate the
large to fit
nest.
through. What if it needs to feed its young, or deal with its young? It is too large to fit through this gap. I think perhaps we should move it inside the lake
on
area.
the other side, the side with the serpent already in it. Like if we just relocate the nest.
Yes, we will need to form a new nest. Earthbender, Rung, could you begin working?
Oh yeah. I'll punch it where we need to punch it. Where are we punching it?
We're not punching. I need you to make a circular earthbending nest.
All right, I'll punch in a good nest for us. Just looking around. So, like, how far are we shifting the nest from where it is now? Is it gonna be like 50 meters away, 10 meters away?
Question.
Like, how far is it?
Up to you guys.
How close is it to like where it's currently blocking like the passage?
It's in the middle. It is blocking the channel completely.
Oh, it's just right.
It's in the
there.
middle. That is what is blocking the channel. The serpent has smashed the rocks to form a protective barrier, and then it has laid its eggs in the middle of it.
It's literally just
Idiot.
starving itself. Like,
Yeah, it's full.
idiots.
None of this thing's going to extinction.
Well, the question is it hungry or has it been defending its nest? Because you know it hasn't attacked the ferry. The ferry doesn't come anywhere near the Serpent's Pass.
How far? Just from can I roll like a perception or assess situation
Yeah.
to see? Yep, how far? Because I want to see
Push
how
it.
far I can move it.
Yeah. Anywhere that
just
you can
chuck it around
earthbend
the corner.
underwater. 7.
Ben.
Yeah, Rung. You can see that there is a section of rock right around the corner where Oki's sort of pointing to, as Oki's already identified this. There's a section of rock that looks a little bit sheltered. There's almost like a small inlet there as well. You could potentially earthbend a nest there fairly easily. You would need the waterbenders to come with you to clear the water away, to hold the water back while you earthbend, but there's a site there where you could set up a new nest, and then you'll have to carefully carry the eggs over.
Easy. Right, with my very determined and keen mind and a very strong hand from Oki, this area here is brilliant for a nest for a giant sea serpent like this. I just need you guys to move away a bit of the moisture from the area, and I'll be able to work my earthbending muscle magic.
Of course.
Make a nest. I'll punch in a good nest. No eggs will be harmed.
The 3
When you're ready,
waterbenders.
get started.
The 3 waterbenders all jump off the boat and begin swimming over towards the area and then bend the water away out of the reach. Like Moses parting the Red Sea, this section of dry land appears under the water as they hold it back. So doing these circular motions. Oki, you said you wanted to know when they were waterbending? They're waterbending. As you watch, they're doing this very specific circular motion where one hand is always staying in position holding, and the other hand's continually renewing this sort of push of the water. Do you want to roll me a focus check to see if you are able to pick up a little bit of this?
No, she does
Oki,
not.
I'm so sorry. Yeah, probably the stress of the situation. The stress of the situation of dealing with the eggs of the serpent and knowing that your tribe members are out there right now distracting it, as is Al, and you've not got much time. You're focused on other things. Probably you're already like reaching to grab and pick up the eggs and move them. Mako goes and picks up an egg without any encouragement at all, just literally goes and picks one up. He's like, oh, it's a lot heavier than I got it. That's okay. I got it. It's a lot heavier than I thought. Do you reckon these would make a good
Oh,
omelet?
that boy.
No.
Okay.
I think Oki jumps out with Shurva, maybe, and see if we can like pick up an egg between the two of us.
Oh, you can pick one up each if you wanted. There's 3 eggs, so...
Let's pick it up then. Yep.
Shurva, did you want to pick up an egg?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. The eggs feel warm. Rather surprisingly, you're probably expecting them to be a bit cold seeing as they were underwater, but the eggs feel warm to the touch, and the surface of the scales doesn't feel as hard and sharp as you're expecting either. It's actually a bit more soft and a bit more malleable. As you both pick them up, you can feel something inside wriggling and moving in some sort of form inside the eggs. Rung, could I get you to please roll me a skills and training to see how well you do moving these?
Most definitely. Good time to bring this up. Just so everyone knows, I'm still a little insecure. Now, I don't know if my insecurity would have been cured at any point in time with some of the confidence I've brought in.
No. You would have had a chance to clear that. You've had a chance for a rest when you were talking to the guy back in the village. You can clear
I felt pretty secure then. Okay. Alright, skills and training. Let's go.
Oki.
Done. Oh, yeah.
10 for success. Rung begins
like-
earthbending like a champ. Yeah. Describe what you do, please.
To me, like, I just go to the area where I'm making the nest, like I'm sitting in the nest area. So
Yep.
if I'm picturing this right, awesome. To me, I'm just sort of just like, what's this? All this water bending stuff's pretty amazing, but let me show you what an earth bending man can do. And I just like, just like hand down, punch the ground and like make this perfect like sort of like crater to like sort of make this nest for everything.
Yeah,
to nest
absolutely.
with.
That's what happens. Yep, no, that's exactly what happens. As this boom echoes through the water, you see the water ripple. And then emerging from the water right next to the 3 of you, Shurva, Mako, and Oki, another silver head rises from the water. Oki, absolutely bang on. Unless these are clones, is there a second serpent here? You just got in ahead before I could say, yes, there is a second serpent. These are... The serpent rises up, its eyes locked onto the 3 of you holding the silver eggs, and it growls menacingly. This deep, low grumble.
Move in a way that is very non-threatening, like, you know, very intentional that we are putting them back in new nest.
I mean, you guys can move really slowly and carefully. Its eyes do not leave you. Kuruk, as he sort of turns around to let you guys know the nest is ready, looks up at the serpent and goes, "Oh dear. Right, everybody nice and quiet. Slow and careful. It will probably not attack while you are holding its eggs.
We are going to move back out of position slowly. Oki and friends, very carefully move towards the nest that we have just made. Rung, behind me.
Oh,
May yet get out of this alive.
behind you. Yes. Just a bit of definite knuckles behind him.
You watch as Kurok and the other two waterbenders begin moving back very slowly, the water now rushing in to fill in the new nest. Kurok, sort of noticing this, goes, we need to find a place to put it down. I will stay here. I will maintain the nest. And with that, he begins creating a whirlpool around the nest to keep it dry and out of position. One of the other waterbenders grabs the back of your shirt, Rung, and pulls you out of the stream back up onto dry land, and they begin pushing you behind a series of boulders out of the way. Shurva, Mako, and Oki. The three of you are now alone. The serpent, absolutely not moving, eyes unblinking, looking at you, growling this low rumble as it watches you closely.
Oki would be like, so she's still facing the serpent carrying this egg, but knowing where the nest is sort of behind her, she's sort of trying to mimic Sama Bahini's serpent-like, like a very gentle sway, and like she's just backing.
If you're moving, the head follows. Yeah, as you do those movements, the head follows you. Anyone who's moving, the eyes lock onto. So Mako begins sort of stepping back and goes, "Do you think it'll grant a wish?"
The wish of death, I think it would probably grant you.
Might be preferable.
It's not glowing. It's not a spirit. It's going to kill us.
But you can protect
I
me,
think-
right, Shurva?
Sure. Uh-huh.
Man, Marco's a wood.
If you back out,
Sure. I am your guardian. Yeah.
Yeah.
No regrets. Marco's going to start slowly stepping, following your lead, Shurva. As you do these like serpentine movements, Mako just sort of mirrors you. He's like, "Well, I don't know what to do," so, and starts doing them as well. Shurva.
I'm gonna take a couple of steps towards the other two.
Yep. The serpent moves with you, not wanting to get too much closer, but wanting to stay as close to you as it can, untrusting what you are up to. Could I have Shurva and Oki, could you both please roll me a push your luck? I'm going to take an average roll from the two of you.
Okay.
I believe in you.
I don't.
You got this.
it's a good roll for me.
I believe.
Was
10 full success.
Oh!
Shurva,
Hang on, I'm taking a second.
Whip it. Whip
I believe.
it good.
I
I'm
believe.
taking a second.
Whip it.
Frank.
Ba-na-na-na.
9,
Whip it.
big success. Your
Okay.
your average is 9.5, rounding up is a success. So no matter what happens, it's a success. So I'll take it as a full success in this case because
We got-
9.5.
We got a spreadsheet.
And because Oki kind of took... Actually, I should roll for Mako. Shall I roll for Mako? It's a bad idea. I'm going to roll for Mako.
Terrible idea. It's a
amazing.
terrible idea. He has like
Now I'm
no
going to roll
passion.
for Mako.
Have you seen
just out of
him? He's
interest.
passionless.
He's passionless. Is he passionless? No, he's a little bit passionate. He's got a little bit
I'm
of passion.
panicking. I'm panicking.
Let's push his luck. Here we go. Roll for Mako.
Okay.
There you go.
That's
So
not
it is
bad.
it's still a success. The average is 9. It's still a success. Oh, that was tense, wasn't it? Could have fucked you guys up there.
Yeah, you really could have.
If he'd rolled a 1, that would have been a real problem. Yeah, so
He drops the egg.
yeah, Mako just like cracks a hole and starts sucking the egg out. No, the three of you begin moving backwards very slowly towards the new nest, the serpent following your movements very closely. Seemingly concerned, but trusting you for the moment. As you reach the edge of the nest, the ground tips away beneath you. There's a moment where Mako almost stumbles a little bit and catches himself. Oki, as you sort of step back, Kurok just behind you touches a hand on your back, and there's probably a moment of surprise because you've been so focused on the serpent that suddenly someone else touched you. It's probably a little bit of a shock. He's like, okay, very carefully, we will put the eggs down, and then I am going to waterbend a jet of water to push us all up onto the side of the mountain. I need you to all grab each other very tightly on the count of 3. Are you ready?
Roger that.
Okay.
You guys ready?
If you were to assist with your water bending with a big push,
What?
I think that would be ideal.
Yeah, easy done.
Okay, here we go. Eggs down. And 1, 2, 3. As you place the eggs on the ground, Mako, Oki, could I have you please roll me a skills and training?
Scared.
7. No, it's all right. 7, and that's a success from Korok. As you both push, the water rushes in. This whirlpool collapses as he stops waterbending it, rushing over the eggs. As it rises back up and hits the middle, he uses that momentum along with your waterbending push, grabbing all of you in his arms as you all grab each other, and you are vaulted up into the sky. The serpent's jaws underneath, right where you were just a moment ago as you placed the eggs down, but you are shot up into the sky. As you rise up, Al, you can see 4 people shoot up into the sky over towards where the other section is. And as you turn around, you see the second serpent at this point. The second water serpent attacking your friends on the side of the serpent's pass.
There were 2.
Huh.
Yeah. Back with Shurva, Oki, and Mako and Kurok. Rung, you and the other 2 waterbenders, you can see these guys sort of like moving back behind the edge of the pass. Now you realize that you guys are in danger. You're still close to the waterline, and the serpent is now looking around anxiously. Rung.
Well, glad we kind of made that one out alive. We just landed right. I heard that right. We're not in danger right now, are we? But
No, you are in danger. You're just on the side of the water. You're still within range of the serpent.
Oh, damn it. Hell, damn it. All right. Do I need to put up a wall to try and stop this or anything like that? Can we waterbend myself away from this?
The waterbending lady next to you just starts nodding furiously.
Oh, you
as
like
she
a
looks
wall?
at the serpent in
You would
fear.
like a wall? All right. You would... I'll put up a wall.
As soon as the wall goes up, the other waterbender grabs the scruff of your neck rung and the other waterbender and begins running. As behind you, the serpent bites through the wall, crunching down and begins breaking at the rocks, pulling you out of range where a moment ago you would have been caught by the serpent's jaws.
I just, as I'm running and being pulled away, I'm like, that did not work. Running away.
It doesn't take you too long to get out of range as you're running sort of behind boulders and dodging with the 3 of you moving at once. And the serpent's still thinking you're behind the rock wall. You have a bit of a head start to get out of the way. Before too long, you rejoin Kurok, Oki, and Shurva, and Mako at the top of this section of the serpent's pass, safely out of range of the serpent's jaws. Realizing potentially that its prey has escaped it, the serpent now focuses its attention back on the eggs, wanting to investigate what has happened to them and where they've been in the nest itself. You can see that the nest that was originally there, you guys haven't done anything about that yet. So the rocks are still in place. The water's still blocked in the passageway because all you did was make a new nest and move the eggs. So at this point, you've accomplished nothing. Not to like belittle your achievements, but the water is still blocked at this stage. We're going to jump back over to Arl and the 2 waterbenders. Arl, I need you to make me another push your luck. As you have continued to be flying around this thing, you're now starting to use up your reserves of energy and strength. As you
Push my luck or rely on skills and training?
I will allow either, your choice.
Yes. Thank you, DM.
You're welcome. But only because you're holding a cute puppy. That's it.
That is
14.
That is a nat 20 equivalent.
It's the biggest possible. No, because he did all he did was he just smashed down the center to make the nest. He didn't actually assemble anything. He just broke the middle bit. Natural 20, the 14, highest roll you can get. You're killing it. At this point, you are one with the wind. Like all of your skills and training, all of your months spent sort of meditating on the wind, understanding how the air flows and moves. Suddenly, it's clicked. Like, you're not a full airbending master yet. Your tattoos were granted provisionally as a result of you attending the delegation. But something has clicked. You suddenly feel at one with the wind, and you're reacting almost before the serpent can move. The 2 waterbenders who were below you, they're not even bothering anymore. They have actually moved back to get out of the way to allow you to focus on what you're doing.
Ahini has sort of pulled back and is watching you carefully, making sure you're okay. But at this point, you've got this. Like, you are just moving faster than the serpent can keep up, and it is fully distracted, focusing on you, letting out these angered roars, oblivious to everything around it. But no, you're killing it, man.
I am Superman right now. Is there anything I can do? Because I've seen the other serpent.
Yes.
Is there anything I can do? Not really, because it's on the other side of the pass, isn't it?
No, they're both on the same side. They're both on the lakeside path.
Okay.
So you could try and attract the attention of the other one. Absolutely.
I think Al would do that.
Okay. With your roll, 14, you have no problem flying back over and getting the attention of the other serpent, spinning around in the air, moving about its head, dive bombing the nest below. Very quickly, its attention is fully focused on you, and as both serpents start coming for you, the next roll you're going to be making is going to be pushing your luck. As evading one large creature is not too hard.
Pushing my luck. Yep.
Two large serpents is a problem.
I cannot argue anything else, and I am -1 to passion.
Oh dear, this could be interesting.
That is a 7. That's a 7.
Mixed success. There are a few very close calls. You hear this honk right behind you as you sort of like get the second serpent, forgetting the first one for a moment, and then realizing, oh shit, I'm in trouble. At this point, you begin heading back out to the middle of the lake, I'm assuming, to get them away from the pass.
Yeah. I think what's also happened is that I'm going as fast as I can, like, again, aerodynamic position, and what's happening is I'm clenching so hard, I let out a little fart, and that little fart like just throws me off a bit, so I've just like lost a bit of control.
Sure, absolutely, yeah. That is now what has happened. As you are attempting to dodge these creatures, your flatulence throws you off balance for a moment, apparently. So that's what happens. But yeah, as the creatures, these two large serpents are close behind you, you lead them back out to the center of the lake. Seeing that you are now in a bit of trouble, Ahini and the other waterbender move back in to try and distract as well, throwing shards of ice. Whenever they start getting close, throwing these shards of ice up towards them to try and like draw their attention away from you as much as they can. But that first serpent is locked onto you. It is ignoring them completely. The second serpent is a bit more amenable to being distracted. The rest of you, the serpent is drawn away from the rocks. Kurok sort of looks down and goes, I think now is our chance. Earthbender, you're with me. The rest of you stay here. Stay safe. And with that, Kurok grabs the scruff of your neck. There seems to be a bit of a pattern with you and these waterbenders. And he begins dragging you down the side of the mountain towards the nests that have been formed.
I am a man!
I'm a man! As you disappear off the side. It only takes a few moments to run down the side of this cliffside to get to the bottom. Kurok begins waterbending, pushing aside so that you can access the now empty nest. Rung, skills and training, Rung smash.
You want to do it again?
Absolutely.
All right, let's get it. Skills and training. I'm so good. I'm amazing.
Push your luck,
I'm
your
Rung.
choice. I'd say either.
I like skills and training. I feel like I'm getting better.
Yeah. This is classic earthbending, pushing rocks from one place to another. I mean, it's literally the basis of earthbending.
I can't do it. Exile.
You're not rapid. You're not slow. You are powering through at your own steady pace as you just start punching rocks out of the way.
Rock here, rock there.
Rung, you begin smashing away at the boulders. It doesn't take you too long to clear. As the rocks are being cleared away, you can see Kurok is having to focus more and more on keeping the water back as you start to push away these boulders. The pressure behind the entrance seems to be building up as the dam is broken down. And as you get to sort of the bottom, Kurok's focus slips for a moment and a wave of water smashes into you, sending you tumbling through the water. For a moment, you don't know which way is up and down. There's just water pressing in on all sides before suddenly the water is pushed aside again and you're flat on your face on the bottom of the lakeside as Kurok has like managed to get it back under control. He goes, sorry, a lot of focus needed. Are you done?
I look at one rock. I'm like, yeah, I'm good now. And just wipe a bit of the mud off my face. Yeah, I think we're good.
Okay, please get out of the way. The water will do the rest.
I thought I was the way. Ha, bad joke. I'm going. And I walk away.
Good. Yeah. As you start climbing up the side and earthbending yourself up the side of the cliff face, Kurok, as you're out of range of the water, finally lets it go, and you watch as the water slams through the passageway. Any bits you missed are immediately smashed up by this wave of water that pushes through. The debris is knocked out of the way, and you can see that the flow of fresh water, not fresh water, I should say, the flow of fresh seawater pushes through the gap, filling up the lake once again. Kurok, sort of like panting a bit, goes, "We need to get Oki to send shard of ice signal. I'm tapped." He's like panting. Oki, you can see Kurok sort of like hands on his knees, panting as he looks up and gives you a thumbs up and points up towards the sky.
Yeah, she signals.
You see a shard of ice fly up into the sky over the mountain section where you're flying above.
Yeah, I'll even though we didn't discuss this earlier, assumes that's a signal.
Yes.
Whistles with airbending again to get the waterbender's attention and points at the shard in case they missed it. And I guess I'll start heading to the suspension bridge to try and guide these serpents out to the other end into the ocean, I guess.
Okay. As you head back towards the nest,
because the new nest is on the outside of the
no,
bay,
it's on the
right?
inside of the lake. It's on the lake side, not the ocean side.
Okay. No, that's the case, then I'll just dive bomb to the closest coast that's not near the village.
Yeah, I'll just like booking it out of there. You see, I'll just immediately head for the banks. As I'll reaches the bank, the serpent that's locked onto you, the first one, semi-beaches itself before finally giving up and retreating back into the water. Its mate leaving much sooner to go and see what's going on with the eggs. Now that the flow of water has been restored, you guys who are on the edge of the rock face, Shurva, Oki, Mako, Rung, you can actually see schools of fish pushing through into the lake again. Now that the passageway is open, it looks like a number of fish, probably salmon-esque fish, have to swim up into this lake to breed and have been collecting on the other side, the ocean side of this river. Kurok, sort of still panting a bit, looks up and goes,
"That was well done. I think it is time for us to have a quick rest before we try and head back for the Northern Water Tribe."
Is Al close enough to Oki for a quick conversation?
We can do a quick time skip as you guys reconvene back at the beach where the Water Tribe had set up their camp, and Al meets you there. Yeah, and then absolutely, that's fine.
I'm sure everyone's exhausted, but I'm just thinking perhaps it would be worth telling someone from the village that as long as they stay away from the Serpent's Pass side of this lake, they should be actually quite safe to go fishing as long as they stay far away from the nest.
Al looks pretty exhausted.
I'll I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Owen, to get to the camp I would have had to go past the village.
No.
Okay.
Triangle. Serpent's Pass village and camp is a triangle. So you've got the far side on the lake bed is the village, and then you follow the lake around, it gets to the Serpent's Pass. My thumbs represent the Serpent's Path.
So where I was equidistant to the village, and
yeah.
How long would it take Oki to run?
Like a good 30 minutes run.
So Al is breathing deep. He is still breathing deep. But
like airbending breaths to
yeah, exactly. Like his cheeks are just wide, like there's like a chipmunk as the air comes in.
Yep.
But because we're by the ocean, Al could just kind of glide to the village, right? Because the wind would be going inwards, and it'd be like a recovery glide.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's hot air rising over the lake. Yeah.
No, I'll was like, yeah, no, that's a good idea.
I'm gonna get you to mark a point of fatigue as you do it, because
Buckman was dead.
You are tapped.
Can Oki do anything with healing?
Yeah. You can do
to try and restore a bit of energy for him.
Yeah. So if you look at your character sheet, can you see the help action there?
Are you going to actually heal?
Shut up.
Comfort and support. So you can do comfort and support.
Shut up.
Okay. I'm gonna say I don't have a help option.
No. Sorry, not help. But you do have a help underneath comfort and support. There should be help. But it's actually the
There's
confidence
nothing
support.
to roll for it.
No. You just mark off a team
No,
to give
it's
them
just
+1 to
an
their
action.
roll. Yeah, it's an action.
Oh,
But you can do
okay, in that
confidence
case,
support.
yeah.
So you can. Oh no, is that a 5?
Yeah.
kills Al.
So nothing happens. No. As you go to like help Al and heal him. I would say with your water tribe, because you are like specifically able to heal as part of your thing, I will actually allow you to re-roll comfort and support. So I will actually, because like healing is what you've been specifically trained for in the water tribe, I will actually let you, whenever you do a comfort and support to heal, you can roll with advantage. You can roll twice. Oh mate. All right, the dice gods have spoken. No healing for you.
Al is just that tired.
Al is just
Technically, Al isn't hurt. He's just tired.
He's just buggered out.
He didn't take a hit. He was an agile boy.
He's an agile boy. Al, you fly back towards the village as quickly as you were exhausted.
Before I fly
Yes.
up, I'll just look at Oki, deadpan, right, and I was like, "Man, that was wild." Points at the bridge. Did you feel the suspense?
Oh fuck.
And he flies off.
I'm so proud of you. I can't ever give you the biggest hug ever. That was amazing.
I'm trying to think of a pun, but I can't come up with anything.
Hang it in there, hey.
Yeah.
With that, I am forcing you to take off and fly over to the village so that you can't make any more puns.
I'll
gonna
give
say-
Tahini a wink before flying off.
I was
Um,
saying forcing you to take off a point of exhaustion because that was amazing. You
Or give
earned
me an
this.
extra point and kill me.
I will allow you to do your travel to the village and not fall into the ocean and get eaten by a snake. We'll allow that to happen.
I have enough of this, and there's
Well,
a
after that
recovery
pun,
glide.
I'm not sure you do, but I will. No, I'm kidding. No. As you're
I was just stretching out his muscles and just like giving him a shake before onset soreness comes in. Yep.
As you arrive back at the village, you can see the villagers have gathered. That clearly your performance above, like distracting the serpent, has attracted some attention. Everyone is crowded along the shore, and as you fly back, the crowd sort of surges towards you. The old fisherman who Rung spoke to in the shop pushes forward.
What have you done? Huh? Why'd you have to go piss off the serpent? Now we're never going to be able to fish again.
On the contrary, my dear friend,
telling me I'm
the
wrong.
pass was blocked. The pass was blocked by I think it was a landslide, and we've cleared it. And there was also a serpent's nest that they built in there. So we moved the nest to the inside of the bay, and all the fish are now in the water, my dear friend.
What, so now there's going to be even more serpents?
There was always going to be more serpents, but there's also more fish to feed both you and the serpents, so they would be less likely to attack the boats with the people. And
I get
more
you
happy
to
eat the fish.
plead with an NPC to try and convince him of your position. Unless you have a specific character book role that does that as well, but you might want to use it.
That's reserved for being blunt, so I'll hold off on that for the moment.
Okay, cool.
That is a miss and a failure.
It's best you move on. You don't understand. You've just come in and meddled with something you don't know. Best you move on.
Well, make me understand. We got fish back into the bay.
Where?
And
Where's the fish?
I'll point at the schools of fish in the water.
Yeah, as you point over, it has been enough time for some of the smaller fish to have reached this area.
Oh. Quick, get your nets out.
As he begins, like, basically flat out ignoring you as you point to the fish, and the fishermen run and start pulling the boats down into the water.
I'll use his ability straight shooter.
Okay.
When you tell an NPC the blunt, honest truth about what you really think of them and their plans, I'll just tell them what I think of him. Roll with focus. On a hit, they look honestly and favorably. And I'll just roll. See what I get. 13.
Oh,
good roll.
You've been rolling really well tonight, man.
Yeah, I think I rolled it. Oh, no, I just looked at my last. Yeah, okay. On a hit, they'll look your honesty favorably, and they'll answer a non-compromising question honestly, or grant you a simple favor.
Okay.
Look, mate. Look here. We worked really hard to get the fish back for you. We've solved your aggressive serpent problem, risking our own lives, and the water tribe helped as well. And they were run out from your village. None of us had any obligation to do anything for you, but we wanted to help your community thrive. A bit of respect is due.
He sort of pauses as you say all that.
Yeah, I might have been a bit harsh. Yeah, apologies. Thank you.
That's all right. I also apologize for raising my voice. It's not the nomad way.
No, I earned it. Sorry.
No. I'm Al. I'm Al, by the way.
Bork.
Bork?
Borik. Bork.
Oof.
Cool name.
Borik. Bork.
Bork, my dear friend. Is there
Borich.
anywhere nearby that we can stay? Bork? Including the water tribe, just to get some rest. We are very tired after that escapade.
You can stay in the town hall. We'll clear out some of the benches and you can set up camp in there. It'll be comfortable and dry. You won't smell of fish.
I appreciate that. I've smelt enough fish for the day. I will go and tell my friends. Thank you very much. And happy fishing.
No. Thank you.
His gruff demeanor slipping, and
I'll reach his hand out for a handshake.
oh, he takes it. Gruff, grizzled, calloused fingers grip your own, but it is a warm, firm handshake.
I'll lingers for just a bit longer than he should at the end of the handshake, and then
Okay.
Again says his thank yous and flies off to tell the others.
All right.
Oh, do you do
We'll
like
do a
one
little
of
bit of
these
time
ones where
skip
like
as
you
you.
take the hand into little?
Yeah.
You make it weird.
No, it's just the like go slowly and like forced eye contact as you slowly like.
Ugh. No.
Yeah.
All right. We'll do a bit of a time skip. You tell the others. You all agree to head back to the town hall. Set up inside. The building is a large, what looks to me maybe like a large inn of essentially, or originally that's now been converted into some sort of town hall. Benches have been set up alongside tables for a communal eating space, but it has been cleared by the time you guys get back to allow you room to set up your sleeping bags and things like that. Kurok immediately goes straight into his sleeping bag, just trying to like chill out. Oki, what was that you say? Do you want to say what you're doing?
Yeah, I think Oki's sort of gonna try and find a few of the older fishermen or someone that looks like they're in charge, and it's just sort of gonna give them a heads up. It's like, yo, so we did move the nest. The fish are able to now enter the lake from the ocean. The reason that the serpents are so pissed off is they're defending their nests like territorial birds. And the reason why they don't attack the fairies is because the fairies is far, far away from the nest. So if you make sure that you don't go near the nest, the serpents should be less of an issue for you.
Yeah, there's a general agreement from the town that makes a lot of sense, because that makes a lot of sense.
So she points out where it is and is like, don't go there.
You guys can all benefit from a rest. You can all benefit from a rest that fully heals you, because you had a chance to have a full... So you can have a full rest. And more than that, we're going to start next session. Dave's excited. We're going to start next session by potentially... We're going to go through the questions and see if you guys have leveled up as well. We'll do that next
Feels
session.
so
Because
good
I
to knock off
think
4 points of fatigue. Oh
yeah,
my goodness.
community, helping a community and things like that, you definitely achieved. Like this is a substantial improvement to a number of people's lives. So this will be a big one. So I think we will do a level up at the beginning of next session. If I forget, please remind me.
What happens
I
with
will definitely
balance
remind you.
at the end of a session like this? Because I'm
What
like a
happens
little
with
bit
what, sorry?
skewed to like neg in balance. Like I've got like a -1 to balance at the moment. Does anything change like that?
So I
just can't
believe
remember
you
how that
can shift
works.
your balance. I believe you can shift your balance when you have a rest. You can shift it back one space. So I think you can shift yourself back to neutral.
So I can zip back to neutral. Okay.
I believe.
If not, we'll find out next episode.
Find out.
But I
next session. All right. Well, I think that's a really good place to wrap up, having concluded the. I think sounds like we've kind of concluded a bit of our arc in the Earth Kingdom as we now head towards the Northern Water Tribe and rest out on these spirits. So, thank you so much, everybody, for joining us for tonight. I hope you've enjoyed this session. I wasn't sure whether or not they would be interested in mucking about with the serpents. I sort of chucked a few hooks out to see if they'd be curious. Turns out they are. So that's exciting. Yeah, this would be. Looking forward to listening back to this one. Actually, it's really cool. You guys did a really good job. distracting the serpents by Aal, and then the rest of you with your incognito mission to move the nest. Really nicely done. That was really well done, guys. Nicely handled. Alrighty, that's it from us. Now, there's no D&D 5th edition, Tyranny of Dragons, or Avatar Legends next week, as it is Easter, and I am off on holiday, but we will be back the week after that. So our next D&D session will be on the 27th, and our next Avatar Legends session will be on the 28th. So, until then, stay safe, stay well, have a lovely Easter, everybody, and we will see you all again next time. Farewell, guys. Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Hey, thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Bye.
Bye.